And now, Giant Sports Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Eric and Glenn.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Giant Sports Talk Live. Myself, Eric, and we got Glenn over there. Got sporting the San Francisco Giants hat, the orange-colored sunglasses. Man, Giants had a good win today. The bats didn't show up, but you know who did? Who showed up today, Glenn?
Logan Webb.
There you go, man. One thing I like about what's up, Adi? What's up, everyone in the chat? Appreciate you. See you guys. I see Rob, Necron, Barry, and Music Lens. Of course, our good friend Adi, Lethal, Ibrahim, and I even see Kyle out there. What's up, Kyle?
Jeez, they're flying.
Robert DeVille. Appreciate you guys. But yeah, look at that, man. Logan Webb looked absolutely fantastic today. Holy crap. That sinker that he was throwing today, he was dealing with that. There was a lot of movement, getting a lot of people on that changeup. Webb was being Webb. Goes out there, throws a complete game shutout. What's up, Mike? Good to see you, man. Yeah, that was good to see. I mean, if the Giants are wanting to try to do anything and it's looking pretty dim, you're going to have Logan Webb show up. What you got, Gavin?
Eric, it was a chilly night over at the ballpark tonight. I should be trading in my cold Pepsi for a nice hot chocolate. Coffee? Wow.
That cold, huh?
You know, this has got to be one of the, at this time of the year, we're into pretty soon the dog days of summer.
Yes.
As far as August 1st, and this has got to be the coldest ballpark in Major League Baseball.
It probably had. Oh, yeah, exactly. You know the quote from Mark Twain, right?
What's that?
The coldest winter he's ever felt was a summer day in San Francisco. Imagine that. What's up, Kid Trickster? Good to see you, man. The Giants are so back. I'm not going to go that far. I'm not. Yeah. And yes, Tony, it was good to see the bullpen get some rest today because Logan Webb went out there and just did some Webb-like things. Didn't get a lot of strikeouts, but boy, he was inducing a shit ton of ground balls. I mean, that one, though, in the ninth inning, I got a little bit worried when it came off the bat. I was like, oh, dear gosh. It went to the deep part of the yard, and it was a fairly easy. But the only thing is the outfielders made it a little bit difficult. You saw that with Ramos and Yaz coming together. I could have sworn that ball was going to drop when they hit. And I was like, man, what are you guys doing out there? But
the Giants always like to make it interesting. I know you're going to bring up the complete stat package in less than 30 seconds from now. But yes. Before we head into that, Eric, I got to tell you, you mentioned right off the top of the show, I was live. I was freezing cold up in my seat up there at Oracle Park tonight watching Logan Webb deal. And boy, I haven't seen a game this year where he has gone to the changeup as much as he did tonight.
Yes. And maybe he was working on that. Maybe he was working on that in between starts because, his last start, he kind of got rocked.
And, he was a fan of the Oakland Athletics growing up. He's an A's fan. He was an A's fan. And I thought to myself about the fifth inning or so of that game, I thought this could be, and very well is, the final time the Oakland Athletics suit up in San Francisco. So a little bit of baseball history and lore. And here you have Logan Webb pitching against the team he grew up watching, who will be no more and not play in this stadium ever again. I thought that was that's the fun thing about baseball. It's statistics, it's stories, history is one of my favorite parts of the game.
Yes, Glenn, I'm glad you hit that. That is fantastic. Because that's one thing I absolutely love about baseball. I love reading about old time baseball. You guys have heard me talk about it before. And it's these baseball moments that happen. You got the Oakland A's the last time they're going to come into Oracle Park as the Oakland A's. Now they're going to be the A's somewhere else. I don't know. We don't even know where they're going, man. Is it the Sacramento? Is it the Las Vegas? We don't know where they're going. They're just going to be the A's, I guess. But yeah. And then as you stated, Logan Webb grew up a huge Raiders and A's fan. And the last time Oakland A's play, as the name Oakland A's, play in Oakland Park, it happened to be Logan Webb, and he tosses a complete game shutout. I love that. I love that part of baseball. Yeah. You talk about the statistics, but more importantly, what I enjoy is just the history of it. How there's so many different things that coincide or not coincide. It's a fantastic.
For a team that's not going to have an identity much longer, or at least in the off season, you're going to be playing in a tiny little stadium. We don't even know if they're going to change the uniforms. We don't know who knows what's going to transpire. I don't think they know over in the offices of the Oakland Athletics at the Coliseum. But didn't Billy Idol, didn't he write a song about the Oakland A's? What was it called? A's Without a Face? Oh, no. Anyway,
oh man,
I'm just getting warmed up, but I'll be here all week. We'll be here all 365. We're going to have Giants talk every day, and coming soon, we're going to have the morning wrap, where I will take a look at the night before and tee up game day. That's coming soon to Giants Sports Talk Live. And Eric's
holy crap! I'm like looking at you like, what are you talking about, man?
I dropped the bomb. You know what? Not only you guys in the chat and those of you who are watching and not contributing to the chat, Eric didn't even know about that.
No idea. I'm just standing there looking like, what are you talking about?
I sold it to 4 sponsors today. They said, great concept. We'll jump on. Eric, sponsorship dollars, my friend.
Sponsorship dollars.
It will go a long way to building the channel. It will go. And this is our 3rd show.
This is it. Yep.
3rd show, and we've got 4 plus the extras for the regular show. We've got 9 sponsors in the can starting in 11 days.
Oh my gosh.
After 3 shows. So I'm you know what? I'm thrilled.
I guess you're telling me I'm going to be busy making some stuff.
Oh, you will be. But I got to get up early. I wrap up the show, go to bed. I'll be doing the overnight show at Oldies 96. Then I got to do the show in the mornings for Giant Sports Talk Live. I told you today I accepted a position working for a radio station in Nova Scotia, so I'll be doing that. I have got too much on the plate. I keep saying yes. My wife, she hasn't come home from work yet. She doesn't know.
Oh,
when she walks in the door, if we're still on the air, I'll be like, hi, honey. She'll know something. Hi, how was your day?
So that's okay. What's up?
All right, let's take a look at what happened.
Want
to take a look at what happened tonight, Eric? Let's jump right into it.
Yeah, let's get right into it. Got Senior out there live from New York.
Yeah.
Let's get into this.
And now, today's Giants in Review on Giant Sports Talk Live.
All right, here we go, guys. Let's get the box score. Not a whole lot of offense, guys. Not a whole lot of offense. A total of 4 hits by the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, but there was only 5.
It took us
the
1
Oakland
though.
A's.
Yeah. It was
last night, Eric? Remember last night's show we talked about? I said you watch Strickland. Not Strickland. Yeah, the pitcher tonight.
Stripling.
Stripling. I call him Strickland. That's a mental mistake. Stripling comes in. Boy, he was dealing tonight too, Eric.
He was, man. He went 5 2/3, only gave up 1 run, and it was a sacrifice. I mean, he gave up a couple of doubles, but the Giants' offense, man, this is the problem with the Giants, right? We'll get into the box score here a little bit more, but the Giants, they cannot get the pitching and the hitting rolling at the same time. It's either they got great pitching, but you can't hit, or you got great hitting and they can't pitch. It's one or the other, man, and they just can't. The inconsistency. This is something that a lot of us have been
talking about. That's the story of bad teams, Eric. We throw a 1 spot up in the 5th inning. That's it. And if it wasn't for Logan Webb tonight, you could assuredly pencil in a loss tonight. He won the game. He won the game for them.
He absolutely did. Take a look at the box score here, guys. You got Wade leading off, had 1 hit. Ramos had no hits. Bailey, no hits. Chapman, 1 hit. It was a double. And he also took a walk. He's been taking a lot of walks. Conforto, no hits. Batting down to 223.
Good grief.
Fitzgerald, no hits. Yaz had 1 hit. Luciano had 1 hit. And Wisely, no hits. Man,
you know what I do like when you take a look at the stats, not necessarily from tonight's game, but you're looking at seasonal statistics in the right-hand column. Arguably two of the youngest players in our roster, or 2 of the newer players to the regular lineup. Fitzgerald, 965 OPS, and Luciano at 957.
Exactly.
The stat lines are a little thin right now. They haven't got a whole lot of playing time, but I like those numbers.
You'd like to see those 9s and the 8s as well.
Absolutely. Yep. Ramos, again, you just highlighted 848.
Yeah, he's still doing it. Yes, it is.
Youth manufacturing runs for this ball club. And look at you a moment ago. Oh, boy, I was shaking my head. Out in the left field tonight, Michael Conforto puts up another round of goose eggs on that board, runs, hits, RBIs.
Yeah.
It was a bad night. Oh, my gosh. It comes to the point, how long are they going to play this guy?
Why did they trade him, man? That's why didn't they trade him? What's up, Anonymous? I see him out there. AB is in the house again. Also Necron. But yeah, what?
Well, everybody's talking about,
man.
Everybody's talking about Luciano going over to first base possibly, playing some first base bag, second base bag, slotting him in the DH position. You could put him into the outfield from time to time, Eric, and you're going to see Mark Canha penciled in over at first base in the infield as well. I think.
The coming of Mark Canha. Yeah, I'm excited about that one.
We talked about that last night. Boy, that was I wouldn't say I had nightmares about it, but I kept running over and over in my mind that video clip you ran last night, the interview with our illustrious general manager, and how I'm like, who's running the show over there? He's like, yeah, I'm just letting the manager make the deals. Yeah,
well, get out of here. I still can't believe he said that. Anonymous goes, was Stripling dealing or do the Giants bats suck? That's a good point, to be honest with you. Did the Giants suck that bad to make it look like Stripling was dealing?
Good point, but I was there, Eric, and I tell you, he looked. The players were looking confident behind him tonight. He was. I would not, if he was pitching.
He had no
tonight,
strikeouts.
That kind of performance, I thought he played well, but
he had zero.
You're going to get that though, Eric. I understand you're going to get that, but it's far too often. I was looking at stats today. Maybe we'll pull them up a bit later on because right now we're in the middle of taking a look at tonight's game. But you know what? I took a peek at Encarnacion's stats today.
Oh man, they're incredible, aren't they?
Why he isn't called up right now, I have no idea.
That's a great point. So why not bring up Encarnacion instead of freaking signing Mark Canha? Really? Come on, man.
Yeah. Encarnacion's almost a 350 hitter, and he's hitting bombs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, you and I have no control over the situation. We just gotta sit here and beak off about it. 365 days of the year. It's gonna be a long off season.
Oh my gosh! And then don't even get me. Christmas.
Oh, I think that Christmas Eve special. There's gonna be a lot under the tree for the Giants in 2025.
Oh, the Christmas list. And guess what? You know what you're gonna get? You're gonna get a lump of coal. That's what's gonna happen. A lump of freaking coal. That's what the Giants are getting.
Eric, get a lump of something anyway. The time of the game, Eric, less than 2 hours. I was in the condo, and like I said, I just left. Beer sales were cut off in like an hour and a half.
That's crazy. Yeah, they said that that's the fastest game, I think, in Oracle Park history, something like that.
It was crazy.
Crazy, yeah.
And then an ice bath right in front of me. They got first time ever. Logan Webb got the ice bath from the Rogers twins. Right after the game.
Nice.
Yep.
But yeah, there's Logan Webb's line went 9 innings, so only allowed 5 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, man. Again, he was masterful. I put that in the description today. Logan Webb was masterful today, and it was good to see because the Giants are gonna need that, especially after yesterday.
Hey, Rob C. See Rob C.
Yeah,
Cole
I see that.
is coming.
It's coming.
Sadly, it's not Garrett, but it is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we got in here,
guys?
We
do have the greatest pitching staff in Major League Baseball, Eric. So, let's not whine yet.
Come on,
I'm
man.
Going to tantalize you with that. That's going to be the mistletoe that I dangle over you.
The mistletoe. Yeah. The mistletoe.
Yeah. Kiss this.
Yeah. But to kind of go back to what we were talking about a little bit, talking about Conforto and even Yaz, how are they still on the team?
Should have been traded. Everybody's saying that much to my chagrin.
We're beating a dead horse a little bit, but yeah.
Flores as well. We're looking at AB. Conforto and Flores need to be DFA'd immediately. Opens up 2 spots. Good call.
Yeah, it can. 100%.
Good call.
That's what I'm saying.
Slide some youth in.
This is the issue. Look, they could have DFA'd Luke Jackson, but they waited to the trade deadline and they trade him in the package with Soler. Why couldn't the Giants have packaged together maybe Conforto and somebody else? I don't know if you're going to do Conforto and Yaz for the simple fact of both outfielders. So I don't know if anyone would pick up 2 outfielders. But they could have done something. I don't understand why they did not try to trade Conforto. Now, that was a mistake, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. That's who we got. Oh, there you go. There you go. I see it in there. Anonymous. Good point. I didn't
Bring
even
it up.
think about
Bring
that.
it up. I want to see what he has to say.
Conforto is a Boris client. You don't want to piss off Mr. Scott Boras when the Giants will probably be in on the Juan Soto sweepstakes.
You think they're in on Juan Soto?
Oh, they're going to be in, but they're not getting them. Come on, man. This is the San Francisco Giants. They're always in on the big guy, but they never get it done.
Eric, all talk, no substance.
100%. Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's it tonight. All you can really say is no hitting and fastest game. Great outing from Logan Webb. Coming up Friday. Now, tomorrow is a travel day. We've got the youngster Kyle Harrison, 6-4, and they'll be in Cincinnati. Andrew Abbott, 9-7. So the Giants are 54-56, 2 games under 500, heading into Friday's weekend series over in Cincinnati.
Oh, that's going to be.
I'm not sure if the wild card standings have been updated, but I believe we are.
Are they updated?
I thought we were 5.5.
So we were 5.
Okay, so we're 4.5 out right now.
4.5. So you gained a half game.
We're sitting in 7th. Can you believe? I know we discussed this on the show. Maybe it was the trade deadline show yesterday, but San Francisco is 7th in the wild card standings, and they trail Pittsburgh.
They trail Pittsburgh. Exactly. And Pittsburgh, remember, they went out there and made moves in the trade deadline.
The Mets, who came from out of nowhere, are a half game out behind the leaders. St. Louis, 1.5 games. Pittsburgh, 2.5. San Francisco, 4.5. And there's a big series this weekend, Eric, because they're taking on Cincinnati, or 5.5. You drop a couple of games in Cincinnati or lose that series, and the Reds may leapfrog you.
They might. This is some great information from Ibrahim. Thank you, Ibrahim. He goes, the splits for Wade and Conforto pre and post injury are insane. Wade, prior to going on the IL, when he had his, it was a hamstring, he was batting .333, had a .470 on base, and was slugging .426. After the injury, he's batting .210 with a .315 on base and only slugging .323. Conforto was batting .280 on base of a .331, slugging .490. After coming off the injured list, batting .168, a .272 on base, and only slugging .328. That is pathetic. You know what that tells me? That tells me they're probably still hurt. They're, and I think they even said that with Wade. That's why they're kind of not playing him every day, because he still has a cranky hamstring. It just tells you they probably didn't wait for them to be fully healed before they threw him back in the lineup. And all it does, it hurts the club and possibly can re-aggravate an injury that the guy is trying to get over.
Yeah.
I don't like that, man.
You know what worries me about the weekend, Eric, too, is that the Giants' record on the road is not good.
Horrible.
And these teams in the National League West who got better were, are trying to catch basically in even the wild card standings. But San Diego Padres are 9-1 in their last 10.
Yeah, they put a shellacking on the Dodgers today. 8-1, right? Isn't that? Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and hold on. Let me do this first.
They're now 59-51, Eric. And if you want to bring up, hey, if you want it, we're Giants talk, but we talk about things affecting the Giants as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to bring up the stats from that game today? We'll take a look at some of the numbers, but it was a kicking.
Unbelievable, man. That is just incredible. Destroyed.
Hey, I tip my hat, my new Giants hat, for this.
Nice. I like the orange bill. Yeah.
You like
nice.
that? I like that. Thank you.
Nice.
I tip my hat to their general manager, boy. That
AJ Preller. Yeah.
Isn't he aggressive?
He's aggressive. That's what you cannot doubt that he tries to go out there and make his team better. Does it always work? Nope. But at least he's aggressive and tries to do things.
But he went out, even it didn't work. He's going and getting name players.
Yeah.
When he gets a guy who's batting a career 350, well, you got nothing to lose, Eric.
Yeah, exactly. All right, here we go.
And now, today's Giants in Review on Giants Sports Talk Live.
All right, let's get into the out-of-town scoreboard. You got the Miami Marlins versus the Rays. Marlins beat the Rays 6-2. Jake Burger mashes with a 2-run shot. Jake Burger, he has a big bat. I remember they picked him up in the trade deadline last year, if I remember.
And DJ LeMahieu was big tonight for
Grand Slam
Yankees with a slam.
6-5 over the Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
Orioles over the Blue Jays 10-4. Jackson Holiday, his first career home run was a grand slam.
And everybody was, is he?
Oh, they were stoked, man.
Boy, that
Baltimore is pretty damn. I mean, goodness gracious.
Yeah,
they had a heck of a trade deadline.
You know what I want to talk about after you finish all of the scoreboard this is the year of the youth.
Yeah, it is. I would agree with that. This
Twins
is
8-3 over the New York Mets today. 8-3 is Matt Wallner's mammoth 400-plus hit home run capped a 5-run Twins inning en route to that 8-3 win. What do we got going on in Atlanta? Looks like the Braves won.
Yep, 6-2. Got Olsen and DiArno went back-to-back twice. Yeah, that's crazy, huh?
Royals picked up their 60th win of the season, a 10-3 shellacking of the White Sox. We're getting into the dog days, Eric. This is where where you're separating. I know this is a poor example, but at 60 and 49, not bad. You're going to separate the pretenders and the contenders into the home stretch.
Yes,
because all of the scores we're seeing tonight, if you're a betting guy, you would have picked all these games. You're pretty much picking the teams that won.
Yeah. I would have
the Orioles and the Royals and the Giants and they're teams I would have played on my card. I would have been picking I'm not picking the White Sox. What do we got next?
No. Oh, real quick to go back to the White Sox, there was an interesting bit of news on the radio talking about Bobby Witt Jr. He had 2 hits today. You know what he hit for the month of July?
What?
481. Bobby Witt Jr. for the month of July had a batting average of 481. Absolutely. That kid is something. Wow. Cardinals put a shellacking on the Rangers, man. 10-1. Whew. Tommy Pham comes through again. Look at that. That was a trade deadline pickup. Diamondbacks beat the Nationals 5-4. Red Sox beat the Mariners in extras 3-2.
Cubs are going to look good down the stretch, too, and look what they did today, Eric. 13-4?
13-4 against the Reds. Woo. Woo.
Yep.
So Reds will head back home, have a day off, wait for the Giants to show up, and they'll have their first game there, like as you said, on Friday night. Astros beat the Pirates 5-4. Look at that. Mauricio Dubon homers to put the Astros ahead. Former Giant. There it is. Padres with the whooping on the Dodgers. That was a Clayton Kershaw, too. Uh-oh. Is there trouble? Is there trouble there with Clayton Kershaw? Man, gave up 7. That is un-Kershaw-like. Rockies beat the Angels. Who cares, right?
I think Kershaw's got to know when to pack it in, Eric. You get too many players. You know what? It ruins the not the history of what he's done, but you know what I'm trying to say. When a guy has an illustrious career and you try to milk too much out of it, Steve Carlton did that. Steve Carlton was such an effective and an ace pitcher for so long. And then if you tried it, you know what? People are like, dude, time to hang up the spikes. And I hope that doesn't happen. You know what? He's a Dodger. You know what we think of the Dodgers, but not the fans, just the team. Maybe it's time to hang him up and ride off into the sunset with the illustrious career he did have. And 1-0 final, Giants 54th win of the year. They beat the A's. We took the complete wrap off the top. Big night for Logan Webb as he tossed the win. I think that was his second career shutout.
And we could take a real quick look at the wild card, saying we're going to be looking at that a little bit more with a more discerning eye now, because now we're starting to get there.
Bring us up a bit. There, I had it right. I wasn't sure. I did it off the top of my head. If you take a look at the San Diego Padres and you go over to the far right, 9-1 last 10 games, the hottest team in the National League.
Incredible. And if you take a look at it, and this is not a coincidence by any.
Let me go back too. You take a look at some stats there, Eric. I'm gonna take a look back over the last week and find out post All-Star game officially who the Padres played. But while we were playing Colorado and Oakland, who've they been picking up the wins against? I'll have that for you in a second.
All right, sounds good. But if you noticed, all the guys who are in the running right now is they all got positive run differential. That's important, right? You want to have a positive. You want to score more runs than the other team. That's.
But isn't that a misleading stat, Eric? Look at the St. Louis Cardinals.
I know, or the Reds.
So maybe that's you know what? To me, anyway.
And exactly, and that's an aberration.
That shows me you've got a better pitching staff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When you can be minus 35 and you're still picking up wins, baby. Look at now Pittsburgh's minus 5.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Giants minus 18. Now does Cincinnati start moving back? It's weird.
You know what? Right now, Eric, as I look at that on the stat sheet, 54, 56, below 500.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at about a minus 18 run differential. Here, entering August, they are who we thought they were.
Yeah. Exactly.
They are who we thought they were.
100%. Yeah.
They can never get over that hump.
They can't, man. It's been such a struggle just to get to 500.
And I swear to you, Eric, we look at the stats a week from now and you'd be like, well, they've dropped another 6 games. And then a week later, we're back within 3. They tease you, Eric.
Yes.
They tease you. They keep you around long enough, right?
Right, exactly. Now I'm going to take a look at look at this. Baltimore and the Yankees. That's going to be a battle for who wins the division. That's going to be exciting.
Wait a second. This is wow. How did I've said the last couple of days, if you're new to the show, we appreciate having you. This is only show number 3 of what's going to be a long and a fun session of Giants baseball talk. The Padres, while I was away at the National, San Diego Padres at 9-1 in their last 10 were beaten up on Baltimore. They beat Baltimore by, I'm just looking randomly, Friday, a 6-4 win for the Padres against the Orioles. Saturday, San Diego, a 9-4 win over the Baltimore Orioles. And the Padres blew a game on Sunday, dropped an 8-6 score. They easily could have won that one. So don't always read into a hot club who's playing in Colorado when you're seeing the San Diego Padres win 9 of their last 10 against the like of the Baltimore Orioles.
And
they won again. And they won again tonight
against the Dodgers. Exactly. Again,
scares me.
It's going to be a battle right here. This is going to be the battle right here. Can Boston make a run? Maybe, but this is going to be the battle here. Guardians, I think they're going to take it away. I think they got the Central pretty much locked, unless there's some kind of meltdown. Look at this. This is going to be a look at the Rangers. They're right there too, man. They're only 4.5 out. Remember last year? These 3 teams were battling it out to see who was going to win the division. Remember Texas, if I'm not mistaken, they lost in Seattle. Then they had to play the wild card. Remember, they had to go to Baltimore, and they wound up beating Baltimore in 2 games. And again, that was on their way to win the World Series last year. But yeah, that was a big battle last year. Looks like it might be the same this year.
Yeah.
National League.
Kyle. Hey, Kyle's in the chat. He says run differential isn't the all-being.
No, it
sure reveals some truth. It does. I'm telling you.
Yes.
It does.
Philadelphia Phillies, they're kind of taking the National League East away.
Yeah. Surprisingly. And the only reason why, Eric, is obviously the injuries in Atlanta. And during leading up to the trade line, the Braves tried everything to try to help themselves. But this may be a season that you just can't salvage, and it's all because of, a plethora of injuries that have just hit one after another. They've lost their big bats, their big players, good young players. And boy, to be a Braves fan right now with what you have and what you're not going to get is
right.
Gotta be frustrating.
Michael Harris II, he should be coming back here probably sometime in August, coming back from that hammy. Of course, Cuna's not coming back, but they signed Soler.
Well, let's see what
I shouldn't say signed, but they traded for.
Yeah. Are you surprised at Milwaukee over in the Central at 61-47? They made some deals yesterday.
They did. They got Frankie Montas from the Reds.
They had another win today, albeit, let's see, who did they play? I got the wrong day up here, my stat sheet. But
who did they play?
The Milwaukee Brewers were in action today.
What's up, Memorabilia?
Did they play today? Oh, yeah. They got beat. We were just talking about Atlanta. They dropped a 6-2 score to Atlanta. So
there you go.
Nonetheless, Milwaukee at 61-47, bit of a surprise. They got off to a real slow start this year, Eric.
Same thing with the Cardinals. Cardinals were the same way. They were pretty bad in the beginning of the season.
Pittsburgh got off to, everybody was like, wow, the Pirates have won about 10 of their first 12. And then 55-53. I think that's a pretty solid start at this late stage for the Pirates. 55-53. They're playing about 500 baseball. A team that you thought would be in the cellar.
In the last 10 games, the entire National League Central has been 500. I've never seen that. That's kind of weird. They're all 5-5, man. What is going on? That's weird. Look at this. Can the San Diego Padres surpass the Dodgers at the NL West at any time this season? Even the Arizona Diamondbacks are only 5 out. That's the NL West could be a little bit weird coming down the stretch because San Diego's playing some good ball. Don't forget, they also got a closer in Tanner Scott during the trade deadline. So they got a closer. It's going to be interesting. They could win some close games now.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is going to be something. All right, let's get out of here. All right. What else we got out there? Ibrahim, Giants need to have a stretch where they win 8 of 10 or something to get in the mix. Focus on winning one at a time. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be tough. Ibrahim, have they ever gone on it maybe once? Trying to remember. Did they ever win, like out of a 10-game stretch, did they ever win 8 or not in a row, but did they ever win 8 games? Maybe that one road trip. Remember they had all those come from behind in Pittsburgh, and then they went on to where did they go after Pittsburgh? Was it New York? I think they got close there, maybe. But the Giants haven't done it yet.
They nibble at 500, and they just plop down.
They get close, and then they blow it. Exactly.
So Joey Bart batting 262. You look at our catching staff right now. We get a great starter. Bart wouldn't have been a bad guy to hold on to. This is one of the angles I want to take with you. A little side trip down to the side strip now for you, Eric. So Bart's batting 262 according to Bay Area Music Lens. Thanks for that in the chat. Brings this to my mind. You mentioned a few minutes ago while you were looking at the statistical package other teams put on the plate tonight. You said that Marco Luciano had another home run. Why does it, and Connor Joe playing a hell of a season in Pittsburgh, why is it all the players that Farhan lets go that succeed elsewhere? And we got guys that, we get stuck with. And I'm like, oh, brother.
It's kind of interesting how
I'd rather have Luciano in the outfield, or not Luciano, I beg your pardon. Have our buddy in Houston. I just said his name.
Marciano.
Marciano.
Marcio. I'm all messed up, man. You got me all messed up, man.
We got
Dubon. Let's just say Dubon.
We're all over the place.
Marciano, man.
You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'd rather have our guy in the outfield rather than Conforto, even Connor Joe. You got Conforto out there. And it always amazes me that the players that he lets go, they find success in another uniform. Did you see Connor Joe's stats?
Yeah, he's good.
And they love him in Pittsburgh. He's got the flowing hair, and he's got the base stealing ability. He's batting just base hit after base hit. I like the Pirates. And you know why I like the Pirates? When I watched them earlier this year, they got some nice veterans sprinkled in, but they're going with youth. I just love watching a young team battle.
Yes.
But you gotta surround them with guys like I called in the other day to one of the sports radio shows, and we were talking about this, and they thought it was a great point. If you're gonna play the youth like the Giants are right now, got to have the proper pieces around them, and the Giants don't have those pieces on the chessboard right now. You're going to say, "Oh, we're going to have all this youth playing them." We got to have that great, the great experience in the locker room and on the field. And you got Michael Conforto over in left field. I'm not buying what you're selling.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, doesn't pass sniff test for me. You're not going to win like this.
Right.
Although, and don't get me wrong, Eric, I've told you time and time and again throughout this season, I want to see the young guys play. Win or lose. If we lose all the games, I want to see what they do. You're getting a chance to see some good young ball players right now. And, we had a call up 2 days ago that's been so exciting. He hit one in the gap again tonight. It was run down, but man alive, he's just such an exciting player to watch.
And, you're talking about, playing the youth. Not only is it, exciting to see the youth play, but they're getting something that you're not going to get in AAA. You're getting that major league experience. It's different. Yeah. Every time you hear players talk, once you get to the big leagues, it's totally different. Even though you may rake in AAA, which is good, but when you get to the major leagues, sometimes it doesn't translate. So if you could get that valuable time in the major leagues to develop, then it just improves your game. It improves your game.
Yeah, you got Luciano tonight, was 1 for 3. He's still batting. His at-bats are piling up. He's still batting .367. He's hitting some gappers. One, like I say, I thought off the crack of the bat, it was a nice deep shot, but it was run down tonight by Oakland's center fielder.
Yep. Kyle, we're not going to win it all. I don't care about the lumps they take.
Yeah. A lot of the guys in the chat have always been with us along this line, Eric. They've always said you got to play the young guys, haven't they?
Yes, you do.
And when you
see, it's not a Colts in here. What's up, man?
Hey, we got an old familiar face joining us.
Appreciate it, man.
Has he got any takes in there yet?
I'm gonna have to check something out here. He's talking about
I didn't see him in the chat. Way up there. He's just been pumping out the chats.
Let's see what I'm gonna
make him feel welcome, Eric. Why don't you make him feel welcome on the show tonight?
Oh yeah, why not? Let's do this.
Welcome in.
He's in the hopper here. He's in the hopper here. Here, let's go.
And now it's Not a Cult with another Giant Sports Talk Live commentary.
There you go. He says an interesting Farhan video on YouTube. So I'm gonna go check it out. I can't bring it up on here because otherwise it's gonna be the whole stupid copyright, all that stuff.
It's the first result if you search it. It couldn't have been any more bizarre. It's Not a Cult than what we aired on our program last night, talking about the manager was allowed to make the trades yesterday. We have the greatest pitching staff, Eric, in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. Bob Melvin took the keys and said, you know what? I'm going to go get my guy, Mark Hanna. Yeah, so get out of here, man.
I may not be able to make a great trade, but I got a $6.99 deal on a shirt at TJ Rock.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. It's an 18-minute interview. I'm going to have to.
My mom would be so you know what? My mom and dad are still alive. They're getting up there. My mom and dad would be so upset with me if I walked in the door at Farhan's age, and my mom would tear a strip off me if she said, you were on the television. You're a general manager of a Major League Baseball. Wear a shirt and tie, young man.
Yes.
My mother would be so upset if I dressed like Farhan.
I don't get it either. You're a damn.
It looked like the TJ Ross special of the week on the bargain rack he had on yesterday. And hey, I'm no fancy, my wardrobe leaves a lot to be deserved. But, if I have to go to church, a funeral, or I'm going to work, I dress the part.
Justin says that name the last player on a multiple deal,
I guess,
that has been traded in 4 months of his 3-year deal. It's funny. You're talking about 3-year deals, Justin. It's kind of something I've been seeing a lot.
Hey, we can't even talk about that, Eric. When you've got 3-year deals, but you can opt out after the first and the second.
Well, how about this? How about the actual 3-year deals that Farhan has signed? First one, we've gone down this road before. We're going to travel it again. First 3-year deal, Tommy La Stella. He lasted 2 years, DFA'd. The next 3-year deal was, I don't know if you want to say Stripling. I think there was an extension in there, right? Was Stripling? I'm trying to remember. One of those pitchers had a 3-year deal, right? If I'm not mistaken. The chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's either Stripling or Wood had a 3-year. They didn't make it through. Mitch Haniger lasted 1 year, and he was out. He got DFA'd. Jorge Soler signed a 3. He didn't even get through the entire year, and he got traded. Farhan's ability to sign these long-term, if you want to call them long-term, it's the 3-year deals, has been pretty suspect. He hasn't had much success. Yeah, I think it might have been Wood. He has not had much success with those 3-year deals. So, and this is what pisses me off when I hear people say Farhan came in and tried to undo what Bobby Evans and Sabian have done. They got us out of bad contracts. Well, you know what? Farhan hasn't exactly had some great contracts either. As a matter of fact, probably even worse. Now, were they as long and were they as expensive? No, but still, it doesn't seem like he has the ability to identify the talent that's going to be able to work for the club. That's what it seems like.
And don't you often feel like we're getting nothing but excuse after excuse after excuse, and the raw deal on the signings we get and the ones we don't? For example, Eric, I did some research today. Farhan Zaidi had a quote online I found on why they didn't sign Shota Imanaga when he was available in June. All right. It says the Giants showed some interest in Imanaga before he inked a 4-year, $53 million contract with the Cubs. Okay, we're aware. Why? And I quote, our pitch grade models really liked him, but our scouting reports weren't as strong. So are you scouting him or are you plugging him into some kind of a sabermetrics? I don't even know what that... Eric, our pitch grade models, the computer really liked him. But in this case, it was the scouts who didn't.
Let's take a look.
I'm tired of, sabermetrics. I'm like, play the best damn players and leave it at that.
Let's take a look at this.
And while you're going to look at something, maybe
let me bring up my model here. Something called Baseball Reference.
Ooh.
What is he? He's 8-2, has a 2.95 ERA, has 111 strikeouts, only 17 walks.
Wow.
Has a whip
nice numbers
of 1, almost 1.1, and an ERA plus where you take in consideration ERA plus takes in consideration the ballpark. 100 is average. So he's way above average when you're talking about ERA plus.
Absolutely. So he's another guy that I liked, and there's
but I guess these numbers here doesn't compute with Farhan's computer. I guess I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't understand.
Eric, you and I, the peasants, are the peasants. Do a little Giant sports talk, and they compute with me. I like what I see.
I know. Anyone else? I mean, come on. Any Giants fan would know. Hey, you look at that. That would have been nice to have.
And we unload money and get Kana in return.
Oh, my bad. Whoops. There you go. I am a simple man. Just give me a large sample size. ERA, whip, K per 9, walks per 9, a nice old-fashioned eye test. Wow. Imagine that. You know what that deserves? That deserves another one of these.
And now, it's Not a Cult with another Giant Sports Talk Live commentary.
I like that one. That's a good one, Colts. And I like Anonymous and the Whopper. That's what Farhan has. You remember the Whopper, right? You know where the Whopper's from, right? Come on, Glenn. You know what the Whopper's from, right?
Yes.
Would you like to play a game? Great movie. Great movie. Great movie.
Yeah. What else we got here in the chat? You know what? I love some of the guys who joined us tonight. We got Will B back. It's Not a Cult. We welcome him in. Have we seen It's Not a Cult in any of our prior shows?
No, this is his inaugural.
It's Not a Cult is a Giant Sports Talk Live virgin, so we welcome him to the show tonight.
All right.
Nice.
Welcome.
Nice. Kyle's in. Justin's in. D-Shot is always in. D-Shot's been with us since our very first show just 3 days ago.
And of course, our buddy Will B. Tomorrow, you'll be able to see me and Will B on MHC tomorrow.
We've got our abbreviated show, and coming up on the show, by the way, great segue, coming up on tomorrow night's abbreviated Giant Sports Talk Live. We'll be talking with Tim Virgilio, and he is based in St. Petersburg, Florida, and he is the founder and the chief organizer of Signatures for Soldiers. He's going to talk about the San Francisco Giants contributing to Signatures for Soldiers and their fundraisers and their memorabilia dealings and how they raise money for soldiers who return overseas. That will obviously blend in nicely into part 2 of our evening. When you kick me out and you bring Will in, you head over to the studios down the hall for military history.
That's going to be awesome. Hey, look at this. We got original Cap in here. Me back. You guys doing 3 hours tonight? Get out of here, man. Come on.
We'll be in for, what are we in for tonight? Let me check the schedule. We have, that's the one thing Eric and I did, was we have a plan.
Oh, a plan.
Today's the 31st. So we are scheduled for a 2-hour program tonight. Tomorrow night, 1 hour, by the way, before we jump into military history. Looking forward to seeing the return of Will to the program. Always brings a good take there.
Yep. All right, what do we got here? Anyone? I love that comment by Colta, but absolutely. Talking about that interview. We didn't get any deals done because Glenn played too much of the Doors and Farhan lost his mind. It's Glenn's fault. Let's blame. Let's transfer blame here.
Hey, if I'm going to play anything after yesterday's trade deadline, Eric,
what's it going to be?
This is the end. This is the end, my friend.
That's a great song, by the way. That's one of the best damn Doors songs.
I ain't singing Hello, I Love You. I'll tell you that. Yeah, we've been riders on this storm for far too long. I'm here all week, guys. I'm just getting going.
Oh, man, that was pretty good.
There you go.
When it's 3 hours, man.
I just put the stats book away. Just, let's take it one day at a time.
There you go. Yeah, go take a look at the trade deadline. We did 3 hours and 45 minutes, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been busy. This has been the debut week. We got some good sponsors, some beautiful sponsors going to be joining us in week number 3. We're putting all the, what we call the bells and the whistles.
Yeah.
Getting the, their commercials ready and their, they got to get their money's worth, and they've come to the right place. They're going to sponsor Giant Sports Talk Live, so we're going to welcome them in fine style. The Wizard over there, Eric's going to be getting all that ready. Our digital production manager.
That sounds so fancy, man.
You like that?
I like that. That's probably one of the best titles I think I've ever had. That's pretty good. I like it.
Oh my goodness. Here's a good question for you.
Ooh, Eddie F. Do you have a controversial change you want MLB to take?
You don't leave Eric speechless very often.
Because I'm thinking. You got me thinking here. Controversial? How about get rid of the damn third wild card? That'd be controversial. I don't like that third wild card.
I don't know. Major League Baseball.
It dilutes. It dilutes winning during the regular season. You're paying 162 games, right? I don't want to dilute it.
Eric, there's two sides to that story, though. You've got all the players and the managers and the coaches, even the fans. At least in a city like Pittsburgh, they're in a wild card chase right now, Eric.
Yes.
Take the standings and where they were out a month ago. So you got teams. You can be 18 games out in your division. The season's over, but still be in that wild card. That's what I like about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like, there's goods and bads. I don't like when a team gets into the playoffs and a 1-game series they win. And they win the next round by some happen chance luck. And all of a sudden, you got a team that shouldn't be there who's into the third round of the playoffs or your division final. And there's good and bad in everything, right?
Yeah, there is.
Good and bad.
I just don't like. Look, it's got to the point to where the third wild card, you basically just could have a 500 season and get into playoffs. That's not where West to me. That's not. I don't like it. That's too marginalized.
Isn't it a stupid strike zone box now? When I watch the ball games on TV, That's a bit outside. No, it's been called a strike. And then you got to listen to the Giants broadcasters, ripping the umpires. And, he's calling a great game tonight because they're calling strikes and outside pitches. What do you think if it goes to sort of what would you call it, Eric? A bot? What if he go digital when the umpires at home plate?
Here's the thing, man. I know people want to get that.
I think it takes reality.
I think it takes you take that human element. I know people want to get it right, but it just seems too robotic. I don't know, man. I know I want to get the call right. Don't get me wrong. But you know what's awesome? And tell me if I'm wrong. And then again, we're gonna go kind of back in time. When a pitcher is dealing, right? He's able to paint the corners. Say like Greg Maddux was able to paint corners. There's other pitchers, but I'm going to use Greg Maddux. When he was on, he gets a rapport with that umpire. If he keeps painting that corner, he could go outside that box just a little bit, and he's going to get the call because he's been commanding the zone the entire time. So there's that relationship between pitcher and umpire when the pitcher is on. Now, of course, you got to worry about people like Angel Hernandez and Las Diaz and who else? CB Buckner. You got these guys. And it's just, it's just so egregious. It just makes people want to say, let's get a damn computer out there or a robot to call balls and strikes because they're so awful. I think people will be okay if an umpire is given a corner here and there.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's not a bad thing. But when you get those egregious calls, just like anything else that happens in the world, right? If one incident happens with a certain organization, they label the whole organization as incompetence. And it's not like that. Maybe, what would help? How about there's either rewards or penalties for umpires who call good or bad games? Incentivize it. Hey, if you're calling good games, guess what? You're going to get a bonus, whatever. If you suck, guess what? You're not going to be able to umpire as many games. Something. I don't know how you do that because you can't really relegate unless you do you send them to AAA, I guess? I don't know.
Yep. But as Kruko would say, sit down, mate.
Right. And then you don't have to worry about a stupid computerized zone.
Yeah. And Abraham, he agrees with you tonight.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, the human element. That's why I don't want to lose that because that's
one thing, Eric, that I think we could. One thing that it would never happen, and this is why you talk to me about this kind of a situation. What would you like? What would you don't like? Where I think the penalty should be, Eric?
What's that?
And it really ticks me off. I'm probably the lone gunman in this whole situation. I'm off on my own theory, but it's almost. Like you're showing up the umpire. How many catchers do you see catch a ball 2 feet outside and whip it in? And there's no chance of it. I think that should be a penalty.
You're talking about the framing?
I can see framing it, maybe a little tweak, you can move but when catchers are going like this and moving it in like 2 feet, it's stupid.
And you know what? Here's another. You're talking about the catcher because if you get a computerized strike zone, that also affects the ability of the catcher because now the catcher doesn't have to do nothing. You don't have to frame. You don't have to try to. I mean, look, everyone framed Buster Posey was a master at it. But if they don't do that, now the catcher's of responsibility behind the plate is totally different.
True.
It's not all you got to worry about is catching the ball and maybe trying to throw out the runner, right? That's going to be your objective. And of course, swing the bat, but your ability to frame and try to get a strike called, that's going to be gone. You just got to sit because you got the computer. You got the computer to help you out. I don't like that.
True. Here's a question for you, Eric. Let's go to the chat line.
Oh, chat line. Here we go. What is this? Okay, I've never had a response on this. At Eric, what are your thoughts on this? 3 wild cards. Number 1, I don't like it. 2, if you're at a second and third wild card, make those 1 gamers and make the first a 3. So you're talking about the go back to the whole 1 game play-in type of thing?
I think that's what I think.
Yeah, that's what
he's wrong. I think that's what I'm reading in that.
That's what it looks like to me.
But
they kind of did that before. That one thing it does.
I like that.
It brings excitement. That one
Giants,
game.
Well, win in Pittsburgh. We had a win in
Pittsburgh. The Mets, yeah, both of those. The Pittsburgh one, man, back in 2014, that was exciting.
Eric, I was there.
Yo, you went to Pittsburgh for that game?
Oh, the most monumental games I've ever been in were I was at the game in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And do you remember game 5 of the Cincinnati Reds series when Buster hit the slam?
Yeah, in Cincy.
I was there.
Oh, no kidding.
And I have the scorecard from the game that was given to me.
Nice.
I'll show you. How about we break? We're gonna have a show where I break out some memorabilia. I'll show you. I have got the scorecard from the dugout of the Posey Grand Slam game. But that night, if you'll recall in Pittsburgh, oh my God, the fans were rabid, Eric. And I'll tell you what, I had my Giants jersey on.
Those black flags were flying. Yep.
Yeah, well, it was like being on the Jolly Roger. I thought I was going to have to walk the plank myself. The fans it was like being in New York. Or LA. They did not like anyone in orange. And it was it started at like noon outside it was like a football, tailgate. Eric, was it, let's see, don't tell me. Brandon Crawford hit a home run.
Grand slam.
And that crowd went silent.
And that's Madison Bumgarner was dealing, remember?
Absolutely.
Oh, that was so awesome.
A slam over to right field, and it shut the fans down. Now, you're gonna have wins. One game, a bad team can win that, Eric.
Yeah,
you can put the Miami Marlins say, we're getting a boo-boo prize. If you finish last, you get a chance to go to the playoffs. They could win. They could win.
Yeah.
But I think that brings so much excitement to the
It does, man.
I was there. I don't know what television was like that if you watched that game, but man, I'd never been to even more than the Cincinnati game, easy. And more than the World Series game. That game in Pittsburgh was the most wild game. And I didn't expect that in Pittsburgh, to be honest.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, I was there, Eric.
That's freaking awesome.
It's sort of like this show. You got all these guys who do shows. You got all these guys on radio. Why am I the only guy who's in the Bay Area or from the Bay Area?
Will B says, get Johnny Five behind it. But you know what Johnny Five is, right?
No.
Johnny Five's alive. You don't remember the show? Short Circuit.
I'm not as old as you. I may look it, but I am not as old as you, Eric.
Short Circuit. Will be. Oh, man. Game 7, Madison Bumgarner was probably one of the best games to be at. Oh,
I wasn't there, but I was away and I was listening to that game on the radio.
Sean Proctor.
Start to finish. I sat in a parking lot. I sat in a Walmart parking lot. The only car in the park. They must have thought I was like camping out, like homeless in a car, because I had the radio on, the windows down, and it was hot. I think it was in Baltimore, and there was nobody to be seen but me, my little old beat up car.
No kidding. That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, what a night that was! Wasn't that a fun game?
Oh, man. Listen to this on that when they won Game 7 in Kansas City. I was the movers were at our house moving I was retiring out of the Air Force. I was going to put all my stuff in storage, and they were moving all my stuff out. And they said, "Hey, you know what? We'll leave one couch and the TV behind, and we'll pick it up tomorrow." I said, right on, because I was able to watch that Game 7 and watch the Giants win that third World Series. It was awesome. That was so awesome, man. God, you want to talk about going memory lane.
And you know what's great about this show, Eric?
Gosh, man.
It's all Giants talk and trips down memory lane, talking about the team that you love, Eric.
Mm-hmm. The Gillespie. Yes, that was in I remember that. Yeah. I remember the Gillespie home run. Hit it in New York.
Well, I was at that game in Cincy, and according to Eddie F., he calls that one of his biggest Giants moments as a fan.
That was awesome.
The wrong one here. Where is he? Here he is, Eddie F.
Yeah, that grand slam was something else. As a matter of fact, it was great because it was an afternoon game in Cincinnati.
And we were down 2-0.
Yes. And this was the last game, right? And I was driving back as I was home for lunch, and I'm driving back to lunch or driving back to work. And I had the game on KMBR, and I heard that Posey call. I was like, yes, we're going to win. I couldn't believe it.
Guys, sometimes being a fan, it can tear the heart right out of you. But there are beautiful moments.
Oh, absolutely.
There are
some that you just don't ever forget.
You know, the game that I couldn't fly in time. I was supposed to be here for it. Was Game 4 of the Cubs series. What was it? 2016.
2016. Oh,
Bernice was at the game. We had third base seats, front row. So Bernice ended up taking one of her friends who didn't want to go. She gave her my ticket. They went to Game 4. And that was the infamous, we didn't make a trade at the deadline and get pitching when we needed pitching. And then Bruce literally picked people out of the stands. Do you think you can get us an out?
Oh, he kept me. I know he couldn't get that last out.
That was a heartbreak because we would have been going back to Chicago for Game 5.
Game 5, and it was going to be Johnny Cueto.
And in Game 1, Cueto dealt. We lost 1-0 and a bottom of the 8th home run from Contreras. So don't tell me. Somebody said in the chat, was it Monday? Oh, Glenn doesn't know baseball. I know Giants baseball. I'll forget more baseball than most people know, Eric. When you get to be my age, you've seen a lot.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Babe Ruth back in the day.
Says Ishikawa is one of my favorite. That was a fantastic. But you know what? I'll tell you what.
You know what was even better? Michael Morris.
Yes! That's the one I feel.
That was
look.
I'll be right
because
back.
the Giants, look, here's the deal. I'll tell you why I liked the Michael Morris home run better than the Ishikawa. First off, we had a whole bunch of guys on the pond. All it was going to take was just a base hit, and they won, right? Don't get me wrong. There was dramatics. I get it. I'm not going to deny that. There was dramatics. But when Michael Morris came up going against that tough right-handed pitcher, remember, I can never remember his name. Guys, who was the pitcher on that? He was a crazy right-handed. He had a weird delivery. The guy was lights out. It was almost impossible to get a hit off this guy. And I can't remember what his name was. He had that funky ass delivery.
What, the Michael Morris?
Yes. The pitcher
Wasn't that off of Waka?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was another funky guy. What was his damn name? Come on, chat. Help me out here. I can't remember his name. If someone says it,
I've seen the replay many times.
It's that. No, not Rosenthal. No, it wasn't. It was a weird right-handed guy. He had a weird, it was kind of like a submarine, but he didn't get low. Nishek. No, was it Nishek?
Oh, it was Nishek.
Nishek.
He's the baseball card collector. Yes, he served.
That's what it was. Nishek. Remember, he had that funky delivery.
Who came up with that? It's not a cult. There you go. You can always call
no,
him.
before that. No, it was Ibrahim. Thank you, Ibrahim.
Everybody who said that, listen, I'm just trying to be nice to everybody. All right, anybody who said that, you're all great.
But he had that funky ass delivery. No one could get hard contact. Up comes Michael Morse, and he parks it in that left field tunnel, hits the ambulance. Crowd just took. I never heard a crowd so loud than that Travis Ishikawa home run.
Right? He literally right into the ambulance well.
Yes.
And then the curtain call.
Yes.
And he comes out with the arm.
He's pumped, dude. Pumped. You can tell
that was one of the greatest calls. There have been a lot of great calls over a Hall of Fame career.
Yes.
But if you go back up, find that home run call on YouTube and match it up with the home run call of the home run from our broadcaster, Johnny Miller. And guess what I picked up afterwards, Eric? This is I will never, actually, this is Bernice's, and she's lost it to me whether she knows it or not. Can you see this?
Oh, my God.
It is a full-size poster of Giants Magazine from the ballpark. So, back in the days when they had the vendors and the little, little stands?
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a scorecard in the mini, you get a golf pencil.
Yeah.
We used to sell the magazines. I'm like, what are you guys doing with the poster? Well, we can't give it away. Well, 5 minutes later, the guy turns around. He gave it away.
Nice.
Whether he liked it or not. So,
fair enough.
Well, I shouldn't let that out of the bag about 9 years later because I could get a knock on the door now that I've let it, They're probably still looking for this baby over there at the ballpark, but they found a home at my condo, and it's staying here.
Michael
Morse,
Bernice,
it's mine whether you like it or not. I'm going to keep
he
that.
Was so clutch in 2014.
He was. Was it Kyle? Kyle McCarron said you saw a 62 home run ball.
I did. We went and saw the Union Pacific 40-14, the big boy, and we met over there to look at the locomotive, and he brought the 1962 World Series ball. Signed by all the Giants, man. Fantastic.
Way to go, Kyle.
Man, it was freaking awesome. I didn't touch it at all. I was just holding it by the plastic that it was in. Because
that was a 7-game series against the New York Yankees, and I've got a ticket to all 7 games. I've shown you a couple of those.
That's right. I remember you showing me.
What does Glenn do? What does Glenn and Eric do at like 3 a.m? Hey, here's some pictures of my memorabilia. You were looking at all my old 1912 baseball cards. I think that's when I first showed you that 22 catcher I like.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Marco Scudero, another guy. Again, he was with the Giants only for a short time. But, man, when he came up in 2012.
Great.
Was that just the guy you could not – the guy always got a hit.
You know where we got him from, Eric?
Yeah, Colorado.
Colorado Blue Jay.
No, Colorado. He was with Colorado.
He was a Blue Jay at one point, and the fans.
I think he made the rounds.
Yeah,
but man, he was a hero.
I was surprised Pilar didn't get dealt yet, or yesterday, I should say.
I know. I don't know why they held on. That's a little bit weird.
Back to the Giants for a minute. I was reading today that so Soler goes back to the Atlanta Braves. All right, he'll get the occasional designated hitter start. They're going to play him in the outfield.
They are going to play him out there?
He doesn't even know what grass looks like at Oracle Park.
That's pretty good. Doesn't even know what grass looks like at Oracle Park.
Well, when was he even? It was a gimme. This guy, he never played.
No, he never did.
All he did was sit on the step of the dugout, come out.
Oh, it's funny how you mentioned that. That's a great segue because I was listening to KMBR today when I was driving around town, and Rich Aurelio was on KMBR, and he was talking about Luciano. He thinks it's not a good idea to keep him at DH because what you do is you have him. He becomes a spectator on the sport. He's not involved in the game as a young player. He's only 22 years old. Right. The one thing you don't want to do is have a young player just sitting on the bench watching the game unfold before him, and he just sits around basically for 3 innings until his next at-bat comes up. So he thinks that this is what Rich Aurelio, and I think a lot of us were talking about this, he thinks a good position for Marco Luciano will be first base. Really? Just because of his body type.
Well, they need one.
Yeah, they need one. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm surprised they didn't trade Wade, to be honest with you, to someone. Then again, he was still kind of hurt. Well, I mean, Ibrahim brought up that good information about what Wade was doing after coming off the IL. It's not very good.
Kyle said Morris and Pence were basically brothers after that hit.
Oh.
The left tunnel at the ambulance, right? So amazing. Well, according to John, who was it? Buster Posey and Pence were like brothers, weren't they?
Yeah.
Buster Posey's best friend.
That was great.
That
was a great call.
How can a man screw up so badly and it's just a beautiful thing? That's baseball, my friend.
That's baseball.
I love it. So many good calls.
And it's a shame what happened to Morse when he got speared by Jeff Samardzija during that brouhaha between Strickland and Harper.
You remember that?
Oh, that was so bad. He got clawed. He was never the same. He got a concussion, and he was never the same afterwards.
Eric, I don't want to listen. I don't want to get in trouble on the show or anything. You mentioned Samardzija, the shark.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? Well, again, because I'm the only guy who lives anywhere near Oracle Park.
Mm-hmm.
They had big 9-foot banners of the players up on the lights.
Mm-hmm.
Like what I would call, when you're a kid, I used to call them I grew up in the country. So you call them a telephone pole. But yeah, so you look up at the light standard and you had the 2 sticks coming up at the top and you had this long banner. Okay.
Right.
Everybody know what I'm talking about?
Know exactly what you're talking about.
They're all over downtown San Francisco. The Jeff Samardzija came home with me.
What did you shimmy up a pole and get one? You shimmied up a pole and got one?
Eric, I'll be right back.
Oh, my God. Glenn is shimmying up poles in downtown San Francisco to steal San Francisco Giants memorabilia. How about that, huh? How about that? Oh, my gosh. What is he going to come back with? Today is the day the Giants traded and got Hunter Pence. Oh, good knowledge, Rob. You know where I was? I was at Disneyland. I remember that we happened to be at Disneyland when the trade deadline was going down in 2012, and the news broke. Man, it was fantastic. You know what's crazy? Let me go on a little tangent here. Every time I visited Disneyland, I saw more San Francisco Giants hats and gear than any other team. They were just all over the place. So what was awesome is during that day when they traded for Pence, every time I saw a guy with a San Francisco Giants hat, I just gave him one of those. and they knew exactly what I was talking about. You know, it was great, man. God, that was great. Here we are in the happiest place on earth, and we had just traded for Hunter Pence. And the rest
so, Eric, can you hear me?
I hear you.
I'm taking the show on the road, Eric.
All right.
I don't have the shark. I beg your pardon. I said the shark.
Yep.
We went back a few years, but can you see this at all?
Yeah. Who?
It's a 9-foot banner here. So please, you know what? I'm trying to give you some content.
Oh my gosh. Pablo.
No.
Pablo? No. Cueto.
It's Johnny.
Johnny.
Off the telephone pole downtown.
What did you do? How did you get that?
Don't ask. Don't ask. Bernice is going to ask me, what the heck's going on in the apartment? I got stuff everywhere I got to put away after the show. But anyway, that came home with me. That was one of my late night celebrations.
You shimmied up a pole.
Eric, just leave it. You saw I got the prop. Leave it alone.
How tall or how high did you have to go?
I don't remember. It was a late night. We had a big win, you know. Crap happens, right? So.
Oh my gosh.
I've always said to Eric, in anything I do, I said, don't underestimate me, Eric. If somebody says you won't do that.
The people are asking, Glenn, did you steal that? No.
No, I think it was just up for grabs.
There you go. Up for grabs. Gosh.
Oh, dude. I'm looking forward to. We're going to do that sometime down the line. We don't have any good content. Maybe an off day. I'm going to show you some of my collections.
Oh, I was going to say, you're going to go downtown San Francisco and shimmy up a pole?
I'll bring you back something by the end of the show. We should have. You know what, Eric and I. We want to have a fun night, just a crazy night of fun and antics. Eric probably send me out on I'll get the portable. I'm going to have a portable camera. You should send me out on a scavenger hunt around Oracle Park.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Wouldn't that be fun? Glenn,
Find
the first San Francisco Giant fan you can. Well, that's an easy one. I'll find somebody. I'll say, just tell them you're a fan.
You know what?
And then last, find the first San Francisco Giant you can find.
You know what? We should get the chat involved with this. We'll ask the chat. We'll put together a list of a scavenger hunt. I'm trying to figure out how we could do this. That would be fantastic, man. Send Glenn on the wild goose chase, man.
Yeah, and you know, let's keep it baseball related.
Pick up a pile of seagull bird shit.
Yeah, let's keep it. I was about to say keep it clean, and Eric comes right on cue.
I'll go out to Mission Rock. Oh my gosh. Like Easter eggs. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Addie's already making his list, checking it twice.
Is this how we giving away content? Yeah, that's how we do it. Do a scam. We got to figure something out.
Hey, we dare to be different, Eric.
Yes.
Others have tried, you know, but we will survive. We'll go out and do that. And you interview a seagull. Oh,
hey, so we get hey, you know what else we could do? Maybe next year we'll get you a kayak. You could go out there in McCovey freaking Cove. Go live from the Cove.
Eric, I want to put, I don't know if the fans know this because, like I say, do all our chat members and fans of the show, our subscribers, the people who've already hit like, we hope.
Not many people
live aware that I live a block from the ballpark, Oracle Park. Do they all know that? Well, they know now.
I think they know now, yeah.
Did you know the San Francisco Giants have put up a display screen?
They did. They put a TV out there, yeah. And
people who are out in the boats and the kayaks can watch the game. How classy is that? You say all the crap you want, but what other team would do that? They got a giant screen so the kayakers trying to catch the balls can watch the game.
Yep, that's pretty damn cool, man.
That cool?
That's pretty damn cool.
And there's nothing better than a summer Friday night. You're watching the game on TV or I'm there. It's hard for me to see. You see them coming in, but they reach a certain angle and then you can't see them in the bay, in the behind the field there. Behind the fence. Right. But you got guys who are like, do you remember over the years, one guy came in on a flying saucer?
Yeah, the hovercraft, flying saucer. Yeah, it was weird.
And it had lights on it.
Lights blinking.
They just came down from Kaplutus or something on the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, exactly. So we got to get you out there on a kayak. You can go live from a Covey Cove right here on Giant Sports Talk Live.
You know what? It's not about what we want to do. Does the chat think that's a cool thing? Or they just say, nah, let's stick to Giants.
I think the chat would absolutely love that.
With the portable camera. For an hour and a half of the 2-hour show. So I'll start the show at the condo. I'll take a break till I get out, down the street a little ways. We'll come back on live and you'll see me try to find this crap at 8:30.
That's awesome.
We'll do it on a game night. We'll go on a little bit early when the fans are coming out. And I gotta hit up fans for stuff. Hey, I don't know, like, somebody who bought a scarf at the game?
Yep.
Or somebody who's taking home their collector's cup full of, Coke or a beer or what have you. Just stuff that, don't send me on a chase 10 things that I got to go to another state to find.
No. It's all going to be within Oracle.
Keep it real.
Yep.
But I got to go up to these fans with hi, we're live on the show. You wouldn't have to have a Pepsi cup, would you, from the game? Has anyone ever tried to do this?
No, I don't think so.
I bet
you know what? You may get arrested.
I'm surprised
you may get arrested.
I got a banner here says I'm surprised I wasn't arrested before.
Oh my God. Could you imagine that?
5-finger discount. I'd fit in downtown San Francisco.
Oh
boy.
Oh my God, that would be freaking fantastic. Get a hot dog wrapper from somebody. Go get a vendor hot.
Oh my
Glenn's
goodness.
Gonna be asking cops for a ride.
Follow Mike Kruko home in his little unicycle thing that takes him home to his condo and asks for an interview. I'll be arrested for stalking.
Get this guy out of here.
You know what? We're going to have a lot of fun. That's what this show is about. We love it. We're only hard to believe it's only the third show. Feels like we've been on for 18 hours.
It does, doesn't it?
We did the trade show.
It's been a long couple of days. It's been a long couple of days.
Anyway, coming up, we've got an off day tomorrow, thank God, but we're still going to be here for an hour show tomorrow night. Eric, what do you got lined up? Any plans for your military history channel following our show tomorrow?
Yeah, gonna get into the whole stuff that's going on in Venezuela. A lot of stuff going on down there. And then the Middle East might be blowing up very soon. I'm keeping an eye on it, see what's going to happen. And then, we'll talk about that on Military History Chronicles. I did that whole Civil War thing in the last episode. This one's going to be more about just current events of what's going on. No, it's not politics. It won't be politics. It's going to be about what's just happening in the world. Specifically when it's involving military, because I think the military is going to be involved a lot in what's going on in the Middle East. And of course in Venezuela. So, and if anything else pops off between now and tomorrow, we'll cover that as well. But those are the big things going on in the world.
Don't miss it tomorrow night. We'll have an abbreviated 1-hour show. Will be followed after a quick break by Will B and our own man, the Wizard, Eric Romo.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Yep. No one brings it. The hot takes like Eric. He can bring it. You brought it yesterday. We had a lot of comments on our chat. You had a lot of thoughts. I did as well on what the Giants did and didn't do heading into what we may call the second half post-trade deadline. So we do have the day off tomorrow. You got Military History Channel. I'm looking forward to that. Then Friday, Kyle Harrison will take the mound for the San Francisco Giants as they head out on, it's another road trip, a lengthy one. Harrison versus Andrew Abbott. The Giants play in Cincinnati. And as Eric and I alluded to earlier in this show, Reds are just a game behind San Francisco.
They got something to play for.
In the wild card.
Yep, they got something to play for. You know what? I'm going to look up.
And another thing, Eric, about the wild card and having so many teams competing, it's kind of fun for guys like us. We can jump in and check the wild card standings every night. Man, every game at this point means something for a lot of teams.
Yep, that's
true.
That's
that's what may have, in my opinion, that's what may have affected a lot of the potential trades. You get a lot of teams who were pretending that they could get in, but they're giving it a shot. So the talent pool of available players when you have this many teams competing for a wild card spot or a postseason berth, your talent pool tradability is cut down.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And you got these two teams who are battling to try to get into that damn wild card picture. So it's going to be interesting. And who is it that's pitching again for Cincinnati? I think you said it was
Kyle Harrison up against Andrew Abbott Friday night.
And Andrew Abbott's supposed to be pretty good. I think he's a lefty. Giants have been having issues with lefties. Another thing that I was just looking at right now, Cincinnati weather, it's going to be mid to high 80s. The humidity, I guarantee, is going to be up there because usually in Cincinnati, the humidity is pretty bad. So that's something that the Giants aren't used to playing in. True. That could be an issue for the Giants. Remember, when they played against the Cubs and against St. Louis in Alabama and also in Cincinnati, they didn't play too well in that hot, humid condition. So
Andrew Abbott is 9-7, a 3.38 ERA. Kyle Harrison 6-4, 3.69 ERA. It's not much in the way of winds. It's going to be a calm night. Winds will be 6 miles per hour out to left field. And you're looking at game time, opening pitch temperature around 76 degrees.
See, that's not too bad.
Could be humid.
It's going to be humid. I was just looking at the temperature over there now. It's like 71 and it's like 93% humidity.
Especially with no breeze.
Yeah, when you have no wind, it's going to be horrendous. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Giants play in that type of weather. Again,
not a fan of their ballpark either.
Oh, the Great American Small Park.
Not a fan of that ballpark.
It doesn't. And if the Giants can't hit when they're in Cincinnati, then sound.
Were you watching the game last year, Eric? Was it either last year or the year before?
Last year when they
split. 1 year bleeds into another. The Giants were playing in Cincinnati. And Cincinnati, when they hit a home run, has this like fireworks in the outfield.
Oh, they caught on fire. Yeah, I remember that.
I kept watching it, and the announcers are subtly like, what's going on out there? And then by like an inning later, I think we have a fire out there in the outfield.
Yep.
Oh, man, alive. Cincinnati is one of the two stadiums. Or actually, it was Cincinnati. Do you remember the last outing in Cincinnati when our third baseman got to pitch Pablo? Let Pablo pitch. We were getting beat up bad in Cincinnati. And in that same game, there was a bee infestation. They had to clean out all the fans out of the stadium on that day. So there's a lot of bizarre things. You want to see something you've never seen before. Maybe you want to catch this series. Opens up Friday night. Looking forward to the Giants. Maybe, getting the youngsters pitching. We can't say anything bad. Harrison hasn't pitched bad.
He's been doing good. His last few outings have actually been pretty good. So we'll see how he's
got a winning record. 6-4.
Yep, 6-4. His ERA is pretty decent. His last outing was really good, so it was nice to see. Maybe he's turning the corner. The only issue that I have with the young pitchers is, are they going to break down, with as far as the innings pitch is concerned? Because right now, Birdsong and Harrison are doing really good, but they're kind of in uncharted waters. Same thing with Hicks. Something that I said from the very beginning with Jordan Hicks. There's going to be an issue with innings because he has never pitched no more than like 79 innings or something like that in his major league career. And now you're asking him to go out there and not just go out there and throw. Look, it's a difference. It's different when you're throwing 70 something innings for maybe one inning at a time every couple of days. But when you're going out there every fifth day trying to throw 5 innings plus, he's going to get fatigued. And that's what happened. So that's a little thing that I'm concerned when you're relying on both Harrison and Birdsong. Do I think they're both excellent pitchers? Yes. I think they're both excellent pitchers. Is there a chance that they can break down? Look, we're starting to get it. Tomorrow begins the dog days of summer. And that's where pitchers tend to start breaking down. You start seeing the hitting come alive a little bit more. So if the Giants aren't putting runs on the board, it could be an issue. Yeah, I saw Hicks is in the bullpen now. Yeah.
We'll be on. Our times will only differentiate between a home game and a road game.
Yeah, correct.
So what is it they say on television? We don't do it in radio, Eric, but check your local listings and you'll find us.
When they're home,
if you want to find us, if you want to know, Eric, if they want to know what time we're on, all you got to do is subscribe.
Turn on the notifications. Yep. Turn on the notification.
And we don't, if you don't, you know what? We like when you like us. We certainly do. We won't turn away that. A little pat in the back.
Yep.
We like when you subscribe, but if you're not into that, that's fine too.
Yep. Kyle says, "Are we still doing radio hits?" What's a radio hit? What? Yeah, you're in the business. I don't know. What's a radio hit? I don't know.
Not sure either.
Not sure.
Oh, he may be referring to what one of the other guys does.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Radio.
Maybe he's talking about the radio show that we do. I don't know. What are you trying to say, Kyle?
Maybe Kyle wants his own radio hit. You know what I'm thinking? Now Kyle. maybe Kyle feels like maybe we got to get a Kyle.
Sorry, that was dumb. You guys were on to. Oh yeah. He's talking about our radio show. Yeah, 103.5.
Yes. Now I figured it out.
There we go.
Yeah, we're doing the radio show. Actually, it's a summer break for the radio show, so that means we're going to be on in about. This is August 1st tomorrow. You and I'll be on in about 5 weeks' time again. It's just a summer break. That's a standard thing in radio. You got shows that start up. It's the same with television, right? They start the new series September, October, back to school, basically, right?
Yep.
So Eric and I are going to be off the radio, which is sounding better than ever today, Eric. Brand new transmitter, brand new antennas installed. They went live today on 103.5. Capital FM, a Northern Lights Entertainment broadcasting station, and they are proud sponsors, of course, because I own the company of Giants.
Hey, how about that? The owner right there. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know why, Eric. People have been crapping on the Giants. We do from time to time. I'm looking forward to Friday night already. I want baseball.
Yes.
We're close. And I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer, if you will, and say that this is in the dumps. I'm not going to be like Mr. Romo here. I'm looking forward to maybe sticking around. Let's see if we can make this a pennant chase. Not a pennant chase, but a playoff chase down the stretch.
It's funny. It's baseball, and weird things can happen in baseball. Someone could go on a run, but the problem is that I just haven't seen the Giants do it. The time that I saw them do it, remember, they won the series against the Cubs, then they won the series against the Dodgers, then they won the series against the Braves. It looked like they're starting to get something going, and then they fell right back down to below 500. They've had a couple of moments, but there's the inconsistency. That's the issue that I have, and I kind of talked about it in the top of the show. They can never seem to be, when they're pitching well, they can't hit well. If they hit well, they can't pitch well. They can't. There's something weird going on. I don't know what it is, but look, if they go on this road trip and they do something, I'll feel better. Hey, what's up, Robert? I'll feel better if they do something. Now, is it a 4-game against the Reds, or is it the 4-game against Washington?
You got a 3-game series gets underway Friday in Cincy, and then right off to Washington for a 4-game on Monday.
And look, Washington won't be easy either. Remember, Washington, they for some reason have the Giants in that park. And they struggle in that park.
Somebody brought that point to our chat just a little while ago.
Oh, whoever brought it up, thank you. Exactly.
Yeah, that was another good point. But, funny thing, you and I were making fun of Farhan. We do that from time to time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, his little comment yesterday about, I love anybody who didn't catch
Jeez.
the opening to the show yesterday.
Eric,
Oh,
now you like that? Did you like it?
Eric, that was beautiful. Beautiful. But, as much as we, carry on about Farhan, maybe he's not wrong, Eric. Webb threw a masterpiece tonight. Harrison's been playing well. I'm not going to say anything bad about the rest of the pitching staff. Let's just see what August brings us.
True. But then again, look, what pisses me off is Farhan said that after beating up on the Rockies. Come on. Don't say that after you just beat up on the Rockies, because that just looks bad. Look, if they did that, if they were doing that against some of these other teams, if they were doing it against the Brewers and the Dodgers and the Mets and the Braves and whoever, then okay, we're good. But yes, he swept the Rockies. And for him to come out and say that was just, you could even see what he said. He's just no conviction. Anytime he talks, there's just no conviction.
Well, we've got Harrison on Friday, then Saturday.
Who's it going?
Saturday in a late afternoon game. I believe it may be the Fox game. You got Blake Snell up against Hunter Green. Let's see if he's going to be the 0-3 Blake Snell, or he's going to be Blake Snell like he threw last weekend.
Yep.
And then, of course, you wrap it up. We mentioned it's a 3-game series. So you got the Giants taking on the Reds on Sunday. Carson Spires goes 4-2 for Cincy. And why doesn't this surprise me? The Giants, their starting pitcher's not available as of yet.
It's not going to be Birdsong? It's got to be Birdsong, right?
Got to be, but
no.
According to MLB, Giants have not announced in the rotation who will be taking that start. That's Sunday's game. And by the way, if you're going to be tuning in, geez, I hate these, Eric. Sunday morning at 9:05. Get ready for Giants baseball.
That's an early one.
That was one of the things when I moved to the Bay Area to live. I wanted, growing up, I always wanted to be in San Francisco. And I was a Giants fanatic. 70s when Chris Spire played. And back, you had the great teams that just couldn't get over the hump in the 80s, late candlestick days. We all know what the 2000s brought us. 10, 12, 14. So I always wanted to be here. So what did I do? I go out and get the condo a block from the ballpark.
Damn.
It's a magical thing.
I bet. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's a magical thing.
How did you become a Giants fan? I never asked that. But hold on. Before you answer that question, on that the 3-game series against the Reds, you know what's going to be exciting? You know who I'm tuning in to watch?
Ellie?
Ellie De La Cruz. Man, that guy is exciting, man. You want to talk about someone who is fun to watch baseball? Holy crap, that guy just does. When that guy gets on base, something magical is about to happen. What was it, a week or two ago? He was on first base, right? Catcher is getting ready to throw the ball back to the pitcher after a pitch. Ellie De La Cruz is watching him. He knew that the catcher just lobs the ball over. And as the damn catcher is throwing the ball back to he's in mid-throw, throwing it to the pitcher, off takes Ellie De La Cruz, steals the bag. I just love watching that guy play baseball.
Yeah, well, he may have stolen one. We've done that too. Ramos did that. Ramos did that on one of the throws back to the pitcher last week.
Oh, that's right.
A little shuffle and then boom.
Boom.
Yeah, he surprised everybody in that one.
But I love watching Ellie.
The bad thing, or it's a really sad thing, is Ellie De La Cruz has more speed in his legs than the entire Giants roster.
I know.
Do you remember the game last year? Stole second, third, and stole home?
Yep, that was incredible. That was in Milwaukee. Fantastic.
Baseball memory.
Holy shit, look, this guy is for real.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Baseball memory right there, man. If you saw that, you imagine being at the stadium and witnessing that and being able to tell your grandkids, nobody's done it since.
Nope. No one made
one of those moments. Or seeing a Tim Lincecum no-hitter or a perfect game over at Oracle Park against Houston. Like, every night when you go to the ballpark, I go down to the ballpark, takes me about 4 minutes to get there. I get my ticket. Usually I have seasons. I get in there. I'm a member of the 415 Club. And I think of that, Eric, I swear, not a lie. God's honest truth. Every time I walk in through the front gate of Oracle Park for a game night, and I'm heading up the escalator, I think, is tonight the night I see something that I've never seen before? I've seen lots of losses, so that doesn't come into a consideration. But
seen a lot of that in the last couple of years. Seen a lot of that.
Yeah. Tonight, by the way, not a bad crowd. Not a bad crowd at all. It was cold. It was damp. I know in the post-game interview, I was over at the dugout, and Logan Webb, he had the sweat on, something fierce, right? Pitching the entire game, and he was cooling down. And then they dumped the ice on him, and I was standing in the upper part of the dugout area.
Nice.
It was freezing. I can imagine what he was like after he got the ice bath.
He
said that was his first. He's never had an ice bath before.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Wow.
What do we got
Mark
in the chat?
Graves. Got Mark Graves in the house. What's up, Mark? Good to see you, man. Says he's probably the closest thing to Ricky Henderson, talking about Ellie De La Cruz. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. In our era.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The only thing he needs to improve on, of course, is his hitting skill, because Ricky could hit. But as far as running and that threat on the bases, yeah, that's a great comparison right now.
Yeah, you want a guy like that to have a great on base percentage. I don't care if he gets a hit, walk, the old money ball situation. You get on base, and then like Julio Cruz, just go.
Just
go. He's got that guy's got a green light.
I think all the time.
He must be. He's a guy who loves the new rules. Imagine a guy like Ellie De La Cruz.
Oh my gosh,
he's like, they shouldn't be allowed to throw over one pickoff.
Yeah,
you get your pickoffs out of the way early against him, and it's a guarantee.
And you know what's crazy? When you watch him run, he doesn't look fast because he takes those strides. His strides.
He's got legs like a sprinter.
Yeah, he's like a freaking gazelle, man.
Hurdles?
He's a gazelle.
Yeah. I picture an Olympian running over the hurdles, those legs.
Yeah, exactly. Incredible.
Yeah. Speaking of the Olympics, which we don't talk about here, man, the U.S. isn't doing too well, are they?
To be honest with you, I'm not even tuning in.
The men's and women's basketball lost today. The 3-on-3 team.
Oh, the 3-on-3.
Yeah. They haven't won a game yet.
Yeah.
Hope Caitlin's enjoying. Well, she's back training again. So she took a week in Mexico while they're all over there. And nobody's attending their games. So I thought about that, Eric, today. When you got it, they're like, geez, nobody's attending the game. I don't think it's the lineup. I think when you haven't lost a game in like 14, 17 years, nobody cares about going to that game.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
And how about this? Mike brings a good point. They don't have baseball in the Olympics anymore. I think they used to.
I wish they did.
They used to, remember? Who was it?
You know what? It's probably,
Will Clark,
you know why?
The
U.S. wouldn't be able to send a quality. You would have to shut down baseball.
Oh,
to put a major league, because they want to send Major League Baseball's best.
Yeah, true. I'm pretty sure you probably could get some guys, though. Maybe not from MLB teams, maybe college. They'd still probably do pretty well.
I would love
maybe
to see
minor
baseball.
leaguers. Maybe minor leaguers.
Yeah, but the U.S. wouldn't want to lose, right? Wouldn't want to lose that way.
Yeah.
Not when they can send pros. And you know how excited we get, Eric. Not just Major League Baseball. We're big. We are as big, a giant, fan base as there is out there. Mm-hmm. I get so excited for the World Baseball Classic when it rolls around.
Oh, the World Baseball. That's pretty damn exciting. And Mark makes a good point here. Not enough stadiums to do baseball in the Olympics.
That's true.
Unless you just play in one area. See, if you just play on one field, boy, that field would get torn.
You should be starting the games at game time at 9, 11:30, 3. They'd be playing 7 games a day over there.
Yeah,
right?
that field would get destroyed. Yeah, that's a good point.
It would, and you wouldn't have enough. Yeah, you know what? That's a great take, because I never thought of that, Eric.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have, unless you had, I don't know. I am no expert when it comes to the city of Paris. Maybe they got 3 or 4 ballparks.
See, if you played in the United States, there's baseball fields all over the place they could go play. But
if the Olympics were in California, you'd be playing games in Seattle. You'd be playing games here, LA, and San Diego.
Yep.
You don't have to. Not a doubt in my mind. If they brought baseball, if the U.S. fought to have baseball back in, and there was going to be an American Olympics, and it was based in a place that had that congregation. Even if it was like the LA Olympics, they could still play baseball in San Diego, which is only 45-minute plane ride.
Yeah, right.
There's an entire coast here. Logistically, is it going to happen? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see it.
That would be awesome. Original Cap says, what do you think about this? This is some news that I saw. Brandon Belt and Darren Ruff were at the park today. Make anything of it?
I don't
either. No. I think they're just showing up. They were former Giants. I don't think it has anything to do with them wanting to be part of the organization. Maybe just, help the organization per se, but not play.
No, not at all.
I think their playing days are done.
Brandon Belt didn't swing a good bat. I don't know what his numbers were, and if you bring up the stats, Eric, I'll say they're misleading. If he was a decent hitter for average. Talking to my connections up in Toronto, including Dave, he didn't have a good year last year in Toronto.
No, he didn't.
And then nobody wanted him, but nobody signed him.
And then he's always a slow starter. So when he started heating up, that was okay. But yeah, as far as the whole season is concerned, yeah, he wasn't there.
I've got a game ticket sitting here in this very room, Eric. You mentioned, and I did as well, earlier in the show, they have a tough time winning in Washington. Do you remember the playoff game in Washington when 18 innings? He hit the home run.
Yes, he was the game winner. You got a ticket to that game? Nice.
Yeah, I got a ticket. That was a great game. I never thought it would end.
You know who was the hero of that game? It wasn't Brandon Belt. It was freaking Yusmeiro Petit. He threw basically a second game, man.
That's right.
He basically tossed a second game. Yeah. That's how long.
Silent assassin. Nobody talks about that, but that should rate up there with the Mad Bum seventh.
Yeah,
game.
You think about it. The guy came out of the bullpen.
Awesome, Eric.
And tossed like 9 innings, right? 8 or 9 innings. Incredible.
That's why I love being part of this show, Giant Sports Talk Live. When you bring takes like that and bring back memories, I didn't think of that.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And then we're going to have a show as well. We're going to have a show.
You know who's managing?
We're going to revisit some of the top moments.
Who was managing for the Washington Nationals? You remember? He's in the coach's box, or he's in the coach's box on third base for the San Francisco Giants.
No way.
Yeah, it was Matt Williams.
Really?
Remember, Jordan Zimmerman was pitching. He pulled him after he was throwing a gem. Matt Williams went out there and pulled him.
How often does that happen in the baseball playoffs? So yesterday was it our trade deadline? Yeah, it was our trade deadline show earlier in the afternoon yesterday. I used a term, Eric, and you agreed with me wholeheartedly. I said, why do managers, especially in the playoffs, find the need to overmanage a ball game?
Yep.
When a guy's dealing, like he struck out 5 of the first 6 batters, and then I don't get it. We're only throwing them 2 innings today. This is taking it a little. Now in the postseason, you don't see pitchers going 4 innings anymore, Eric.
No, you don't.
And you used to watch series like remember back in, what was it, 79 Atlanta? Was it 79 or 89? I think it was 89. You had the Atlanta Braves and the Minnesota Twins in Game 7. The pitchers.
No, not 89. That was the World Series. That was the Bay Area World Series.
Yeah, 89. So it was 79, I guess. You had 2 pitchers going 9 innings in a Game 7. That doesn't happen anymore. No, and in this era of baseball, it just won't happen anymore.
Nope. Senior chimes in, says in 2028, there will be baseball in the Olympics because it's going to be in LA. We were just talking about that. There you go. That's why you'll have
to the table tonight. Was that Senior?
Yeah. They said 91. Mark Graves and Robert said it was 91. The Braves and the Twins. I think, wasn't it? What's his name? The guy with the mustache for the Twins. Who am I thinking of? They called him. Did they call him the sheriff? I'm trying to remember. Gosh, I can't remember the guy's name. You guys will say it in the chat. Mark Graves also talks about, remember that front office kept Strasburg off the playoff team to protect him. And that was in that 2012. Yep. I remember. Jack Morris. Thank you.
Oh, he won the World Series with the Toronto Blue Jays. What a pitching staff that was.
Jack Morris. That guy could pitch.
Dave Stewart. Oh.
Yep. That he had a presence on the mound.
Mad bum aside, if I could pick any pitcher going into a Game 7, Eric, well, who would it be for you? For me, it's Dave Stewart.
Dave Stewart was freaking nails.
Who would you throw in a Game 7? Chips are on the table, all in, winner take all. Game 7 World Series. Who do you have out there on the hill? I've got Dave Stewart every day.
Ooh. You're asking the wrong guy that question because I'm going back in time.
You didn't see that
There's
coming.
So many, man. There's so many.
I know there's been a lot of great pitchers over the years, Eric, but there's just that. There's so
Clayton
few
Kershaw, Mark.
There's so few that you just give the ball to and you go, put the ball in your hand and we feel so good. Dave Stewart was a World
Bob
Series
Gibson. No, you cannot argue with Bob Gibson.
Wow. Yeah. And I'm just going guys I've seen pitch.
Oh my God. You're going by guys you've seen pitch. Yeah, I get it.
Somebody texted me and asked me a pitching question today. They were talking about
Kurt Schilling. Oh, that guy was bloody sucking all. Kurt or Greg Maddux. Yes.
Eric, somebody asked me today, who was the last pitcher to have a 9th inning pinch hit in a World Series? A pitcher to pinch hit in a World Series in the 9th inning. And I would never have gotten this, but it was
Pedro.
The big train. The big train.
Pedro. Eric knows. Eric knows.
You know what? At least they're paying attention to us, boy. It's an interactive chat tonight. We got Schilling, Maddux.
Tom Seaver. I was thinking of Tom
Rob
Seaver.
C. said Woody.
I was thinking of Tom Seaver, 100%.
Woody. Speaking of collectibles, have you ever seen Woody's garage?
Bob Feller. I heard he's a hell of a collector, right, or something.
Great stuff.
Bob Feller. Only thing with Bob Feller, the guy walked a lot. He was kind of like Nolan Ryan. Ryan, he struck out, but he also walked about just as many people as he.
Tommy Seaver, Bob Nepper,
Bob
Feller,
Warren Spahn. Wow, look at this.
If I can pick a Bob Feller or Nepper, I'm leaning to a Feller.
What is that? The Shack.
You know what? You got to give it to Addy. At least he's positive.
Yeah. Sandy Koufax.
And not just Snell.
Sandy Koufax.
Second half.
Smell. Yes, exactly.
Right, a Blake Smell.
That's like saying postseason Madison Bumgarner. Because in the postseason, Madison Bumgarner was untouchable.
He never had a bad outing in the World Series,
and you know what's funny?
At all for us, did he?
Remember after the job that Madison Bumgarner did in Game 7, did you see how many other clubs tried to replicate that very thing and no one could ever come through like Madison did? I don't know if we'll ever see that again. Coming out of the bullpen, throwing 5 innings, and just shutting them down.
Yeah.
Oh,
like you talked about it earlier. That Washington series, that outing coming out of the bullpen. I know he wasn't a starter, but coming out of the bullpen, what an outing that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Petit. He kept us around, didn't he?
He did. He was able to, he lasted long enough to get for Brandon to hit that home run to right field.
And you know what's sad, Eric? Some nights you watch a ball game as a fan, you're getting tired. The players are getting tired. And even if you lose, the players are walking off like, just thank God it's over.
Yep.
Live to see another day. We'll play another one, see if we can get back in it. Yeah, Petit was always a go-to guy, wasn't he?
He was, man. There is something about his delivery, that short arm release. It just looked like he just whipped it in there, man.
You're right. And Audie and I, we're always on the same page, Eric.
Yeah, I know. The game has definitely changed. Is it changed? It's not. Even all these changes they're doing, do you think it's for the better? Does it bring bring more excitement to the game the way that they've done?
No, but you know what? I will
like
say
they're trying to change for the sake of change, and the whole time or the time of play, pace of play, whatever the hell you want to call it.
I don't even notice. I'm sitting at that ballpark, and the only time I notice the pitch clock is when I realize, Jesus, we're in the bottom of they're playing Take Me Out to the Ball game. I'm just getting settled. Yeah. But I don't, in the course of play, I don't even notice it.
Yeah, you don't notice it. But here's the thing that this is what I miss about it. And this is just me as a traditional baseball fan. I just love the psychological game of pitcher and hitter or pitcher and runner on base. I just love the showdown. It's mano a mano, right? I mean, this is the only sport where it's man versus man. Until the ball is put in play, it's man versus man. And I just love the psychology. And I just don't want something artificial to interfere with that psychology. Yes, I understand. And that's the problem. We've talked about it. I know a lot of people talk about it. We've talked about it on NorCal, talked about it just in the Twitterverse. The casual fan. That's the problem is baseball is catering to the casual fan rather than to quote unquote a baseball fan. And I just love it. I just love just that showdown, messing with each other, whatever it may be. I don't give a shit if it's 3.5 hours long. That doesn't bother me. I don't care about that. That means nothing to me. I want to see the showdown and who's going to win that showdown.
Well, they've taken a part of that out of the ball game.
Yes.
Our latest commissioner, Eric. The one change in Major League Baseball in my lifetime that I do not care for is you should not be able to dictate to a manager how he manages. A la, they pinch hit Eric. Why am I told you can't go to the bullpen?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have to pitch to 3 batters?
3 batters. I know.
Or even the throwing over to first base. You're changing the complex. You get a guy like we just talked about, L.A. De La Cruz. He's at first base. You throw a couple of lobs over to first base just to try to keep him close.
Right.
When there are none left, you might as well just, like the intentional walk.
Thank you.
Just go. Just go. You can have second base.
Yeah.
And it's a rule I don't like. I don't like those. I don't like, you should be able to go to the bullpen when you want.
AJ Burnett,
throw to first base whenever you want.
Yes. Come on, man.
And look at in the history of baseball. I know it's rare, but see, even that can affect a game. You get a guy, remember that pitcher in Chicago? He couldn't throw to first base.
Oh, yeah. Lester. He never threw over.
So see how that changes a game?
Yep.
Or Eric, we're not playing a little league or softball. You play softball in South Central San Jose with these rules. Why do I have to go like this? All right, just go to first. I should be forced to throw 3 ball. What if you get a wild pitch, Eric?
It can happen.
I saw a game, I think it was John Milner back in 1979. They threw the ball in on an intentional walk with the bases loaded, playing the Montreal Expos. He took 1 step across home plate, and he belted it out there, drove in a couple of 2-3 runs.
It doesn't
changes. Eric, it isn't a pitcher's control a part of the game?
Yes.
An important part of the game. Why did you just take that out of the game? Like I'm tired of the softball rules.
Yep.
Let's start and put a guy at second base.
Yep.
We did that when I played softball, senior men's, women's softball, Eric.
This is what I'm talking about. And
Friday Night Lights baseball.
Mark talks about it. It's made for TV. If you don't mind if it goes 3, yeah, exactly. When you are there live, you don't mind if it goes 3 hours. It's the TV audience. I 100%, I understand the concept. I just don't like it for the game because because I love it. Look, if the pitcher could sit there and try to freeze the runner, or not freeze the runner, but freeze the batter could call timeout, whatever. This the psychology, man. I just man.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Now, the people in this chat, we just bring some takes. We love when people chime in.
Absolutely.
You don't have to agree with us. Some people like the rules, some people don't, but there are certain rules that I've been a long-time baseball fan. I love this. Is my favorite sport. This is my favorite team. But there are rules that they're ruining.
It's hurt the game. It's hurt the game.
Just that tranquility of baseball. Sitting back, relax. It's supposed to be a relaxing game to watch. Sit back, take your kids, relax. They have a couple of hot dogs and cotton candy and enjoy your day. And, you and I love the intricate, almost like a chess match. You said each pitch. I watch the game in that fashion. Each pitch, there's a 2-2 count. I'm waiting for the strikeout. Oh, he fouled it off. I get so riveted in the game.
Yes.
Some nights Bernice is so scared I'll have a heart attack or stroke. Like literally the veins are popping. But and it increases in the postseason. But when you just, you change these rules, okay, you can take an intentional walk. Well, what about the 4 pitches?
I
don't know. I don't know. I see they're going to make some changes in Major League Baseball as far as the front office of the MLB in New York, and I think that that might be a good thing. I'm not fond of the commissioner's moves. He has had his finger in this dike too long, my friend.
You know what? Let's talk about this today in the game. Guess what? That was the biggest headline today with Logan Webb's perfect game. You know, what was the first thing I saw other than him tossing a complete game? I'm sorry, a complete game shutout. What was it? The first thing I saw was, this is the quickest game that's ever been played. Who gives a shit how long it was? I don't give a crap if it was an hour and 55 minutes. I don't care if it's 3 hours and 55 minutes. He tossed a great game. It was a complete game shutout.
Well, I got to argue with you, Eric. You were not there.
No, I wasn't. I watched.
Throws my buns off, man.
I bet.
Jeez, it was cold up there in deck 3. Holy crap. That's why I said to you earlier, is there a ballpark anywhere in Major League Baseball where what is it today? July 31st, heading into August and the dog days. It's supposed to be hot and It's a long month, but man, I couldn't wait to get out of there. I'm like, 3 pitches and get out of the inning. It was nippy on the waters there today. And I don't know if anybody's in the chat, they'll know if they're from this area or the San Francisco area and come down for a ball game. We'd love to see you. About 4:30 or 5 in the afternoon, the mist just rolls into town. And you don't really see it on television. And you're getting damp at the ball game from the mist.
Oh,
it's not the most enjoyable place to play. But then again, we're also spoiled in life. There are places you could play in Texas where it's 108 degrees. What's it going to be like when they're playing up your neck of the woods next year, Eric?
Oh, it's going to be
Oakland A is playing in 112 degree heat.
Yeah.
No dome on that little stadium.
No, there isn't. So hopefully all the games will be after 7 o'clock because you get the Delta breeze that comes in that helps. But Woo-wee.
And the same, I was just in Vegas a couple of weeks ago. It was 123 degrees.
Yeah, didn't they break some records, if I'm not mistaken?
Ridiculous.
I thought they broke some records.
When the breeze picked up around 7 o'clock, it felt like you were in like you're say you're in the Gulf War. It's like a sandstorm effect. That wind, you felt like the fire was burning your arms.
Yeah, the wind, you get windburn. Windburn.
Yes, I was out 5 minutes. I started walking. I said, geez, I'll just save. I won't take an Uber. It's only 5 minutes. My God, Eric, I got halfway there and I'm like, well, I'm halfway now. It doesn't matter if I walk the other half back again and start over. It was so burning. I was burnt. I was burnt to it in 5 minutes from the wind. I'd tell anybody to go over there, make sure you take your sunscreen if you're heading over to Las Vegas. They say it's a dry heat over there.
Oh, God.
Yes, it's hot and that's it. Yeah. I could not live there.
A lot of people told me that when I was stationed in Arizona. Oh, it's a dry heat. Mark Graves, he's in the chat. He lives in Arizona. I'm sure he hears that a lot too. But it's a dry heat. It's like,
what part? Do you know where he's at? I was in Las Vegas here.
No, he lived in.
I went over to Arizona. Yeah, I was over in Vegas, and then we went over to Arizona just for a couple of days.
Oh, nice.
And
he lives in Goodyear, if I'm not mistaken.
It's still pretty warm over there too.
Senior says humidity in New York is brutal. I can imagine. Giants are going to face some of that when they go to Cincinnati. They didn't play well in humidity when they had to go to Chicago and St. Louis.
Glenn, do you like one of them was up there? Do you like those Savannah Bananas? Aren't they folding? They're closing up shop.
They are.
I heard they were going to close up shop. Had something to do with their ballpark, the city. You know what? The city sort of, I think, like an Oakland situation, but the city's involved. They want to, they want to turn the ballpark into a parking lot, or it's worth more to the city to have that there than a ball club. When I watched a documentary recently, not to get on the Savannah Bananas, but I think it's Netflix. They have a documentary on the guy who started up the Bananas. And Eric, fascinating stuff. He got the ball club, and they said, "Okay, we'll lease you the stadium." He went in. My God, it looked like it'd been derelict for 30, 40 years. There was like grass growing in the offices through the floors.
Oh, wow.
The city had come in and ripped anything they could take. They took everything but the brass pipes. They took the wiring, the chandeliers. The guy had to rebuild basically the stadium. And the only reason they gave them, they thought they were milking them for all they were worth. They said, "This'll never work." Well, the first year was all right, and he put his own money in year 2. And all of a sudden, the city's like, "Oh, geez, it's a success." So they've been trying to find a way now, but it's Savannah. It's Savannah. Do you think who's going to Savannah? This should be a draw. This should be good for corporate. Their corporate funds. You got people coming in as visitors. They're going to spend money. They're going to go to restaurants, but nah.
Senior said the Bananas aren't folding, but the stadium is.
The stadium is? Well, you know what it might be, Eric? I could be wrong. That's a good call because I'm going to do a little bit of research on it because I'm not basically the one to add. I'm spitballing here. That's why they're doing the road show. They're playing in everybody's stadium.
They're playing in everyone's stadium. Hey, Robert, have a good night, man. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it, buddy. We'll see you on the next one, man.
Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Robert. I will say one thing. I'm looking at the list here, and I'm trying to scroll while I talk to you, Eric. All of these guys who are in the chat have been with us, or majority of, from day one. We're only on our 3rd show, but they've been here from day one, and it's a lot of once they're in, they stay. Yeah. As soon as Addy gets his homework done, he's locked on. He's locked on Giant Sports Talk.
All right.
Yeah, we had Addy on the show last night. If anybody wasn't here, he was a great guest.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
All right, Glenn, we're at 2 hours and 1 minute, man.
That's right. We had a good show again today. I love talking ball.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know about you. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Or some of the topics we nibbled at tonight. That could be
all over the place.
Fodder for a full show. Games that you remember, Eric. You watched it maybe with your dad, or you were a kid and you collected baseball cards, and you had a card of a guy that I remember. I opened a pack of baseball cards in 1977, Eric, and I got a Fred Lynn. I was all excited. And I watched the All-Star game. He hit the first Grand Slam in All-Star history.
Oh, wow.
Night. And I got him in a pack of cards. See, baseball is...
It triggers those memories, man.
I had my stick of gum.
Yep. And you'd smell the baseball cards, and they smell like that gum.
Yes, they have that
the powder.
And
the
Jerry Seinfeld would say, a pinkish hue. You're not a big Seinfeld guy, are you?
Gosh, it's been years.
You're in the Little House on the Prairie. We'll save that.
I love that show, man.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, in the big inning.
That's one of the best shows.
Maybe some night we'll dissect that show because if you like baseball, that's another topic for a quiet night. If there's no game, Eric, some of the great television shows which have featured a baseball theme.
Ooh.
Reggie Jackson made an appearance on an episode of MacGyver back in the 1980s.
He was? I didn't know that. I used to love MacGyver. I never knew Reggie Jackson.
MacGyver rolls into town, and Della Reese, who was on Touched by an Angel, was the guest star. And somebody stole her son's baseball cards. Well, it was the rich bad guy across town. They were being stolen from people's homes and delivered to a baseball card shop and then given to, the guy from the mafia. So, of course, in comes MacGyver, Angus MacGyver. And at the end of the show, he saves the day. And a guy who had been betting on baseball was involved. And it was pretty nasty stuff. But he made an actual cameo in it. And you could tell Reggie had no business being on a 60-minute television series called MacGyver. He was so, hey, I saw you at the ballpark. Thought you might like a bat. It was so.
Oh, Boggs was on Cheers. Ibrahim bringing it. Boggs was in Cheers?
Yeah, I've never seen an episode of Cheers. Have you?
No. I know my parents watched it occasionally, but I didn't as a kid.
Although, aren't the two characters, or at least maybe both of them, there's two older guys that sit at the end of the bar in Cheers, and they were the Chicago Bear guys.
Oh, yeah. Yes, on
Remember
SNL.
that.
Yep.
Remember that. Hey, you guys. Oh, wouldn't this be so cool? Let me try.
Eric Burns, that would be awesome. That guy's high energy, man. Holy crap.
He fit in right. He fit
right in. Yep. He would fit right in. No doubt about it. Hey,
yeah,
Rob,
next week.
Thanks, man.
Next week we got Tom. Tom's back from New York City for a whole show.
Yay, all right.
Tomorrow night on the show, Tim Virgilio, the founder of Signatures for Soldiers. They raise much-needed funds through sports memorabilia for injured soldiers returning home who are in need of a lot of help, and sometimes they can't get it. So Signatures for Soldiers, they raise the funds through sports memorabilia. Major League players now and alumni especially contribute jerseys, bats, hockey sticks, all kinds of stuff. And then they have auctions. And when I spoke to Tim last week, he says, I'd love to be on your show, promote the things we do. And he says, ironically, the San Francisco Giants are one of our biggest supporters, especially Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. I can't wait for that one.
And then then you will be following up, appropriately enough, a show tomorrow night on Signatures with Soldiers with
Military History Chronicles. Right after
we got lined up for it once again on the show tomorrow night.
Yeah, just talk about what's going on in the Middle East and in Venezuela. And then we'll
be on board, right?
Yes, will be with me. Will be with me. Hey, Will be.
Will B's been part of our show here. He's a moderator tonight. I see him in the chat over there. Will B is, I bet he's chomping on the bit to get back. You guys had a special weekend edition of Military History. I love that show.
Oh my gosh, that was a fun one.
You were on the weekend.
Talking about something I absolutely love when we talk about American Civil War, man, that is my go-to. AB says, you remember the shredded beef jerky packed in chewing tobacco containers? Remember that?
Oh, yes.
That was awesome. Everyone, all the kids, we all pretended like we got a dip in.
Yeah. You had the shredded pink gum. And really,
no, that's different. No. This was different. Beef jerky. It was shredded
beef jerky. I thought you were talking about the gum. They made the gum out of the same. It was like getting about 500 sticks of the baseball card gum with the Big League Chew. Yeah,
Big League Chew was great. Audie wants to know what time I'm going tomorrow. Well, tomorrow we're going to go on at 8, right? Tomorrow, 8?
Yeah, we'll be on around 8 o'clock tomorrow. We're going to do a 60-minute stanza, 60 minutes of Giants baseball talk, get you geared up for Cincinnati this weekend. Then we head off next week to Washington. We'll talk some baseball. We'll get the chat. It's going to be teeing up the weekend and getting the chat in here. We love our chat on off days. And then we're going to toss things over to the Military History studios, I guess.
Yeah, there we go.
I will.
So on MHC, I'll probably go on around 9:15 then. So it gets enough time to close everything down here, and I could get everything fired up on Military.
Yeah, get the computer shut down for the night, turn out the lights, head on over to the other studio. I sit back, and it's funny, Will be watching our show. Then Will jumps in. He's basically taking my seat, and I watch your show. It's so entertaining. And if you don't know much about, I thought it was a great take. When we had Addie on last night,
good stuff.
Addie, did he not echo my exact sentiments I have said for over a year? When you come in and watch a Military History channel, you leave entertained and you leave educated.
Oh, I appreciate that. I try. I'll never forget my high school history teacher. The way he was able to instruct history, it just captivated me. And I kind of want to do that same thing because you got to kind of make it where you enjoy it. It's this, you don't want no dry guy out there just talking monotone, in 1861, the war. You got to provide some context, get a little bit emotion behind it, and then people will kind of perk their ears a little bit and maybe understand what's being talked about. And I try to do that. I try to not talk about things in a vacuum, because a lot of things that happen on the outside are going to what causes that certain historical event that had to occur. So I try to give it that background if I can. Thanks, Audie. Appreciate it, man.
52 and 56. We got, how are the Reds doing this year record-wise? Well, 52 and 56 now. Heading into the weekend series with the San Francisco Giants. If you missed it earlier, you're late to the party tonight. We're almost said and done, but we'll get you geared up for this weekend. Coming up on Friday night, it's the opener of the series. By the way, tomorrow travel day. That's why we're only doing our 1-hour show tomorrow night.
Oh, what's the game time?
Kyle Harrison, a left-hander, 6-4. Look at these numbers: 6-4, 369.
Got it.
Andrew Abbott hasn't been injured. Kyle Harrison had a lengthy injury, and Andrew Abbott was on the shelf for, I think, 2 weeks. He's played a few more games. 9-7, 3.38 ERA.
Pretty equal. Two lefties, yeah.
Really equal. I know it might not look like it on paper. I would call that an interesting pitching matchup. Couple of lefties, Kyle Harrison, Andrew Abbott, all goes down Friday night. We'll get underway late afternoon if you're in the Bay Area. I think I'm the only one. 4:10 in the afternoon. You guys get to watch it a little later. That'll never equate with me, Eric. Watching baseball when the Giants play a Thursday game, the go home special. And they'll say, live from New York, it's Giants baseball. This is the pregame show at 8:30 in the morning. You can't get used to that.
Can't do that. Nah, that's weird.
Sunday football when the pregame show starts at 7 a.m.
It's like, what? That just doesn't, it doesn't jive.
When I first moved to the Bay Area, I remember one night my wife wanted to go out to dinner. I said, I'll just check the score of the game. Maybe I can catch it well, make sure we go to a restaurant. They got a big screen, right?
Yep.
I turn it on. It was the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I hear, and tonight's final score from Madison Square Garden. I go, geez, it's not even 6 o'clock.
Wow.
Well, what a rude awakening, and what the whole time difference on the West Coast. You really get. I think it's easier if you grow up here.
Yeah. And I grew up here, so it's not a big deal for me.
No place I'd rather live than the Bay Area, and
what time is
and a block away from the ballpark.
Exactly. And what time's the start time on that Friday game?
Game time is 4:10 Pacific.
Okay, so we'll go on 8 o'clock then, our normal time then.
Yeah, that's an early start in Cincinnati, a relatively easy start. Okay. And again, if you are so interested, going to be light winds. Eric called the humidity at the Great American Ballpark, 76 degrees at game time, or that is the weatherman's report. I could never be a weatherman. Well, actually, I'd love to be a weatherman. Wouldn't you, Eric? You're never wrong, really.
Yeah,
or I guess you're always wrong, so you're never wrong.
Yeah, exactly. You're good. You're covered.
Oh, this is a good question. Yes, we do. We do. We get guests who will talk about teams. If you're just joining us, Original Cap, we had Dave Patrician from Toronto on the other day, and he had actually just left the Rogers Center. We caught him on the way back. And then yesterday in the trade deadline show, we went to New York. We had a special on the Mets and the Yankees with Tom Durjevich, who covers, this guy has got one hell of a job, folks. He covers the Rangers, the Nets, the Knicks, the Mets, and the Yankees.
Yeah, how about that? That's a lot of New York teams.
I said, Tom, it must be busy over there. He goes, yeah, but I love it.
Nice.
Same as us. We love it. So, but imagine covering that many teams every day. And he does radio reports and he does some TV work. He was great on our show. Really tip my hat to the guests who have joined us so far, including from the chat, Addie, who took time to join us yesterday.
Hey, look at Mark Graves. I had the opposite. My history teacher just taught about dates and what happened. Made it. But see, that's probably a guy who probably didn't even get a degree in history, and he's just freaking has to teach a course. See, that's disappointing. It really is, because history is important. But
don't you think when you get older, Eric, the older you get, that's
coming from the historian. That's coming from the mouth of a historian. So I mean,
the older you get, the more. I remember when I was in high school, if I had an interest in history like I do now, how fun it would have been.
Oh, totally different. I know.
I watched the history. What is it? The Curse of Oak Island. I'm big into the military history of the East Coast. So I had messaged you. What was it, about 6 weeks ago? I said, I'm at the Fortress of Louisburg. 1756, I think it was. The British fought the French, and then the French came back and took the fort back, and then the British came back and burned the whole thing down. It's like they hated each other, obviously. I got to see the fort, what was left, and the parts rebuilt. It was fascinating.
It sounds like Europe. You know how many times Europe, you talk about different fortifications that have been sacked and burnt and taken over, retaken over. Man, Europe has a lot of military history.
Yeah. You guys, that's why I love Military History Channel so much.
Awesome.
And you guys don't stick to one topic, sort of like our Giant Sports Talk. If it's military history related, It could be about a war. It could be about you've done shows where you talk about past presidents.
Yes, correct.
Love it. You guys bring it, and we'll be at such a different flavor to that show. You guys play so well off each other.
Yeah, we do. I really enjoy
Will B with his big radio voice. Boy, he really brings it.
Yeah, he
Will B. I kid because I care. I love that guy. Yeah.
All right, guys.
He's one of our team. He's the mod over there on our chat tonight. Everybody's been so good to us over in that chat tonight. They brought a lot of different topics to chat about. We've had so many different takes. We didn't do an official poll, but they've chimed in with when we'd ask a question.
Yep.
These guys are great, aren't they?
Oh, fantastic. That's what it's about.
They're part of the family. Look at these guys like Addy. Who else did we have? Abraham. These guys, you know that when we go live,
yep,
they're waiting. They're in here and they're engaged.
Yep. And that's what we want. We just want to interact with everyone. You guys know me. I always watch the chat. Sometimes I miss some stuff, but I just love to see what you guys have to say. And I welcome the conversation. That's what I love.
And we appreciate all those people. I know they have a choice. A lot of guys who join us now. I know that I'm not sure. I guess I could check, but I'm locked in here, so I can't really get on to the computer. But NorCal must have wrapped up. I see a lot of familiar names, Eric, who are joining us over here tonight. So
that's fine.
When you get a chance, you can spend time with us. But you have, if you like one or the other, that's
fine. Yeah, you could go watch NorCal live. That's fine. If you want to watch us after we're already done, you can watch us later. That's fine. It's no big deal.
You can watch if we sign off early. Maybe they're doing a show tomorrow. Maybe you want to support them as well. So
absolutely.
Cryptic Trader. I know some of Eric. That's the cool thing because I used to be down the street, so to speak. I saw a lot of these familiar names.
Yep.
Mark Graves. There's another one, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Mark Sr., all you guys, Robert, don't like leaving anybody out. Eric L., all you guys mean a lot to us. We appreciate you joining us because we know you love the Giants. Even in the, when you say you hate them, we know deep down you still love them. You keep coming back for more.
For more. Yep. There you go.
Eric, brief show tomorrow night. What time are we going to be on the air?
Tomorrow will be on 8 o'clock. We're going to have signatures for soldiers, right? Tomorrow night.
That's right. That is the plan. Exciting. There's always, we had plans yesterday for a couple of people to join us on the show. I had put so much work into getting guests, and all of them had COVID.
It's going around, man.
We had a reporter in San Diego and Seattle. They couldn't come on with COVID. One of the other reporters just couldn't get a hold of them. So there were a lot of people who were getting ill with COVID. If you are out and about, take your precautions, whatever you feel you got to do or whatever your beliefs are. And that COVID's nasty. All these guys got sick, and they were all where I was. In Cleveland. That's where we had all hooked up. So good Lord willing, we will have Tim join us for Signatures for Soldiers tomorrow. Can't wait for that show. I'm really excited because
looking forward to that one too.
And it's baseball related.
Yep. And it's military. Woo, I can't, I love
and maybe you guys will give us a little post-game wrap over on Military History Channel. You can tell the folks over there who might not be with us about what the San Francisco Giants do and what that program. You'll be educated. You'll be educated. You'll know all about Signatures for Soldiers.
Absolutely. All right, guys. See you tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, right here on Giants Sports Talk Live. Woo!
You've been watching Giant Sports Talk Live with Eric and Glenn, a Northern Lights Entertainment Broadcasting production.